Alright, we back. I really did think we were gonna fight Frida first, but fuck it. Demon Prince time. This is a hell of a boss fight. We'll see how it goes. I was gonna do Frida first, but I'm like, I don't want to do that DLC right now. It's boring and long, so fuck it. The Drag Heap. Let me know if the sound is okay, chat. Might be a little quiet. Hey, Zert. Alright, it took us so long yesterday to figure out, like, what the hell we were doing with our build. But, I think it's fine. I think we ended up with something we're happy with, and we'll have to level up more faith so our miracles actually do damage, but, you know, we'll get there. Hey, Ace. Alright, can you kill these guys, or do they just keep respawning? Oh, the sound kind of seems off to me. Maybe it's my, earpiece. Get the feeling these just keep spawning. I think the casters don't. Okay, it's big guy time. Chat was just saying the other day how these guys aren't great. I don't entirely remember, so we'll see. You know, we won't plunging attack them. We'll fight them. Baby rage. Okay, that hitbox comes out like sooner than the animation would imply. Well, he didn't really live long enough to see a lot of his moveset. Okay, I like chunks. So this is High Wall of Lothric. It's all mashed up though. You know, daggers have had a hard time throughout the Souls series. They've never been that great. They're best in Night Rain with Duchess, although they're still a bit rough. But I never really used them in Dark Souls. You know, I guess Murky's Hand Scythe is really good though. That's basic. It's more like a sickle, but it's got the moveset of a scythe or a dagger. Oh yeah, and you had the Corvian Great Knife. That was actually meta as fucking PvP. Chicken nuggets. Hope you got sauce for those. Oh, maybe these do stop spawning. Yeah, I assume these guys are just random zombies, you know, hollows that have just been around for so long that their humanity has turned into dregs, which is like the deep, which is like super corrupt humanity. Which, as far as I can tell, it's like the deep really only exists because of all the bullshit that's happened and like how the world is warped, how it's not supposed to be and stuff. I kind of take it as like if things had played out naturally, the deep would never have come to be. Speaking of, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, Dark Souls 2 and 3 shouldn't have existed, which is true, rather obviously. But I think they did a good job of making them, well, at least with 3, justifying its existence, even though it's not supposed to exist. But people act like because of that, there's just no way that they're ever going to do Dark Souls 4, and they, like, can't, like, this is such a definitive ending, which it's not at all. Like, I kind of wish it was, but, none of the endings in Dark Souls 3 are even remotely definitive. Every single one of them is like, yep, God knows what's happening next. It's not over, it keeps, you know, the cycle's not broken, good luck. There's one ending that might break the cycle, but it doesn't necessarily, like, give any answers. And it's not like the world actually ends. You know, as apocalyptic as the end of the game is, with what ending you choose, it does kind of rebirth the world, if you will. So anyway, and Miyazaki himself was like, yeah, we're not going to do any Dark Souls 4 anytime soon, but he said, you know, it's not off the table for like way down the line. If any of his like devs underneath him are like, you know what, it's time. He said he probably would do it. You know what would be cool? So people are always, oh, god damn, these fucking angels. People are always trying to connect all the FromSoft games, right? Which is, I think, is silly. They're just, yeah, they share like symbolism and they borrow ideas, but there's not a lot connecting them. And because of IP rights, several of them cannot be connected, like, legally. But anyway, that doesn't stop people from trying to connect them all the time. But the only ones that really can be connected is Dark Souls and Elden Ring. And although nothing hard connects them right now, there's definitely some stuff that's kind of suspicious. Where, for example, in Elden Ring 2 or something, you had some, like, real evidence that it was connected to Dark Souls. I wouldn't be like, oh man, they pulled that out of their ass, right? It wouldn't shock me either way. So if they ever wanted to do Dark Souls again, I think a really cool way of doing that would be kind of what they did with Armored Core 5. Armored Core 5 comes out, seems like its own thing, it's doing its own thing, it builds into Armored Core Verdict Day, the sequel, which then just straight up connected it to Armored Core 4. And they kind of did it slowly, and that was pretty neat. And you could do that with Elden Ring, I feel. Like, you could connect them if you wanted to. And that would be interesting. Okay. There's loot right there. Fucking guy. I love how they have these guys ambush you, because they know you're going to be, like, waiting. Great item right there. Put that on. Oh yeah, nice 5% increase. Something kind of interesting about these light bolts this guy's shooting at us. All the light-based stuff, like Blessed Weapon, the Blessed Weapon buff we put on our weapon earlier, they add physical, right? Like the white glow you put on your weapon, it adds more physical damage to the weapon, and those laser beams that he's shooting do physical damage. That's kind of interesting. Can I aggro just this guy? Yeah, I would say, though, even if they do bring back Dark Souls, I would not bring back Gwyn. I think, if that's enough. The most you could do is have his, like, the light soul that he had is still influencing things, which that's just, you know, fair enough. A lot of people forget this. Gwyn is not the god of fire. He is the god of light. It's just by the time you see him, he's so, diminished. But he finds the light soul. Pygmy finds the dark soul. Witch of Izalith finds essentially the life soul. And Nito has the death soul. And they're like the kind of, you know, fundamental pillars of that universe. That went decently, all things considered. God of Soup. Soup Soul. Do I want a flask? You know, I really should have the Evil Eye ring. Because, like, in this part, that'd be amazing. All these, like, scrub, hollow dudes you can just murder. Get some health back. We don't need Leo Ring in situations like this. What do we need? I mean, more souls is good. This is one of the first times I actually leveled up a decent amount in a while. Normally when I play Dark Souls 3, like, I come back to it, we stay quite low level. But I will say, it doesn't matter. People try to make a big deal out of being like a level 1 and all that. it matters so much less than people think it does. Depending on how you play, but like, if you make a level 1 and you just use the items that are good regardless of your level, like Dragon Slayer Axe, it doesn't matter that much. Like you can do really good damage regardless, and you can do things like the shield ring so you don't get one shot for most of the game, and all that. Like you just wear the best equipment, you upgrade your weapon to the maximum, all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of the later levels you get, depending on how you play, but like with this build, most of the level ups we're going to be doing are going to be more like FP. It doesn't really directly affect your, damage output or damage taken or anything like that. And like a lot of times you end up using weapons that are actually weaker than the Dragon Slayer Axe, even though you've invested like 40 points into them. Great game balance, by the way. But so you can make a level 1 character that is just very, very, very strong, and you can make a high level character that, maybe is a bit stronger, but not nearly as much as one might think. This is the room where you fight the Lothric Spear Knight for the first time. Woo! Now that being said, there are some builds that get just so much stronger at high level. And you can pick a build too that doesn't have to put a bunch of points into. Like I'm just casually dodging this and just talking like nothing's happening. Anyway, you can make a build that doesn't put its points into FP and things like that, and you can put your points directly into things that are very impactful, and you can get way more health and pump your endurance so you can wear really heavy armor, like wear like full hovels armor and shit like that, and then that is going to have a very noticeable impact on your performance. If you really want to just like min-max being powerful, min-maxing getting really good armor is a really big one. So this angel is like the easiest one to kill, and it's kind of like a demo to show you how you're supposed to get rid of these guys. And they make sure that guy's like so clearly envisioned so you see that, oh, he died because I killed this thing. So you kind of know what to look for in the future. Rare bit of good telegraphing to the player, I would say. I feel like Elden Ring did such a bad job throughout explaining anything to the player. Way too obtuse when it came to like what they actually wanted you to do. Not think that was going to hit me with me going at an angle there. This like deep soul you keep fighting never really has a conclusion. You don't really see it again later in the game. Dude just killed his own guys. Chad, is this guy the Hollow Knight? Is he the DLC everyone's been waiting on? So, I have not followed Hollow Knight very closely, so I don't understand exactly. But I know there's like a DLC that's been in the works for like forever. And it's like a meme, but I'm kind of confused. Like, is it one of those things they just announced it and like they expected it to come out a long time ago, and it just hasn't? And have they been like vocal about the delays, like, or like, I don't really understand the meta here. All right, yeah, it was going to be DLC, and now it's going to be its own game. The stuff with Gale is kind of weird if you don't do the first DLC. You're definitely supposed to. Because, like, the first DLC came out, and this DLC didn't exist, so you had to. This DLC really was a breath of fresh air for me, though, because I like Dark Souls 3, right? The base game. Liked it a lot. Nice return to form. Coming from Dark Souls 2. But then the first DLC was kind of awful. I mean, it was just so many trash mobs, just over and over again. Big empty box of nothing. The wolf boss was just terrible, so all it had was Frida. That was it. It was just Frida. And I like Frida more now than I did then, because I really disliked, and I still do, I disliked how the third phase was the one that mattered, and if you, died to it, and there's plenty of reasons why that would happen, you had to do the first two phases again, which really weren't that interesting. I just always disliked that, and I still do. And so I was just really turned off by the first DLC. Like, it just didn't, it was so, like, blech in comparison to the base game. And so I was really worried. I was like, man, this last DLC, is that just, it's gonna be more of that? And then thankfully it was so much better. Yeah, when Nala is lame. I think we'll see it, but off memory, I think Demon Prince is fine. The first phase is pretty damn spicy. Although, to be fair, I have a pretty warped perspective on Demon Prince because I almost always did it at low level because PvP characters needed to kill him, right? And you know, early on, I had high level PvP characters, but those ones I completed first, right? Like I had them done and PvP ready, you know, ultimately pretty early in my, you know, Dark Souls 3 lifespan, if you will, right? Where then I'd make new characters, like, okay, I've already got several 120s, you know, I'll make a level 30 now, I'll make a level 50 now, or whatever. And so I really did that boss fight a lot as a low level, and then when I've streamed it, you know, a few years ago, and we've, you know, streamed Dark Souls 3 a few times, I normally would stay at lower level, right? And at lower level, the first phase is honestly just yikes. I just don't like multi-enemy fights. I feel that way a lot of the time, but I think Demon Prince is one of the better ones off memory. It's not perfect. Most of the multi-fights never are, but this game is just not designed with multiple enemies in mind. The first game that is Night Rain, I would say. And that's more because the game is designed for co-op. But even if you do play solo, it's not as bad because you have things like your ultimate and whatnot. It's kind of interesting, though, because I would say the Night Rain characters are stronger than the Souls characters have ever been inherently, but not practically, because you don't have control over, like, your build or your level ups and shit. So, like, you can just make a way better character in regular Elden Ring, even though you don't have access to... How did that not... That's literally what you're supposed to do. I didn't, like, roll early or anything. Game, please. Anyway, you don't have access to the ultimate and all that crap in regular Elden Ring, but because you have control over your build, you can just make, you know, you have 60 vigor in Elden Ring no matter what. Doesn't matter what build you have, you know, faith and whatever. You're going to have 60 vigor if you have any fucking brains. Where the presets in Night Rain aren't smart enough to do that. So you've got characters like Recluse who end up at, like, you know, 40 vigor or some crap. By the way, I did a solo with Recluse the other day, and I literally picked every single relic to just boost my health. And it made a huge difference. I was so much tankier, so it wasn't, it really wasn't that bad. I could not tell you why that worked that time, and it did not before. I really can't. Okay, you son of a bitch. $20 vigor, take it or leave it. But yeah, so for example, if you could transport Duchess or Recluse, whoever, into regular Elden Ring, and then you got to choose your level ups, and you could still equip whatever you wanted like anyone else, but just on top of that, you've got your ult and skill of choice, and you know, most of them have a unique dodge ability, right? You're just the strongest Souls character you'd ever have. However, in practicality, if you could transport a character of your choice from regular Elden Ring into Night Rain, they would destroy that game, right? Even though they're in many ways weaker, because you have, like, optimized stats, you can pick whatever armor you want, talismans you want, you know, your Ash of War, oh my god, you could just fucking delete Night Rain. Because, like, if you look at the bosses, and you've seen that people have ported the bosses, like, modded the bosses into Elden Ring from Night Rain, and their stats are just way lower, right? Like, the amount of damage they do, like, their movesets are very strong, right? Like, they hit really rapidly and things like that. But the amount of damage they do, the amount of health that they have, and that kind of stuff, they're much lower than the base game of Elden Ring. And again, it's because they're designed to fight these preset characters that aren't, you know, don't have good stats, really. So yeah, if I could transport, like, my level 200 from, or even my 120 from Elden Ring into Night Rain, I would just fucking destroy every boss without even having to try. It would be very silly. Yeah, your vigor is so low compared to a, I don't think any of them have 60 vigor. But yeah, if you could take Duchess or Recluse or whoever, the one character from Night Rain that's not really stronger, even if you could control them, is Guardian. I hate to say it, but because his dodge is so bad, that would be very rough. Now, he'd be a good character in regular Elden Ring because, you know, his blocking ability is super strong, his guard counter is super strong and all that, but like, what if you didn't want that playstyle? Things like that. Nice of them to give you some anti-poison here. A lot of loot in here, and the Ring of Favor is in here. I think I remember where the Ring of Favor is, but, oh yeah, Desert Pyromancer. So, really funny, Desert Pyromancers are really popular because, you know, they're hot, but, oh, they have the cool mask, though, honestly. Like, that's pretty sick. But, unironically, in my time playing Dark Souls 3, I have seen way more male characters wear that armor set, like, as a meme, and it's kind of amazing. Actually, it's pretty rare that I've actually seen a female character use that armor set, where, like, male characters will see it all the damn time. And I am getting fucked up. That did not... I don't think I should have gone that way first. I think I should kill the angel and then get the loot. I'm starting to think that is the idea here. Holy fuck. To be fair, it's not really bikini armor. It's not armor at all, right? It's like caster stuff. Okay, I think it's over here. And like their whole shtick is they're like trying to weaponize their looks and, you know, their ability to set things on fire. There he is. You little shit. Oh, I'm so glad. No more angels. I think that's the last one. They're not actually in the game very much. I think they figured it's a pretty toxic gimmick, and you wouldn't want to deal with it the entire time. So it's just like, it's something to deal with for a little bit, and then move on to other challenges, which is probably for the best. Did you play the pre-nerf angels? Yep. Yeah, I played this game day one. Like, of course I did. Like, and even now, you know, like when Shadow of the Erdtree came out, and I'm way less into Elden Ring than I was Dark Souls 3, but I still played that shit immediately. Honestly, I played it with multiple characters before they nerfed it. They were nasty, but people kind of exaggerate the nerf. They're still horrible. They didn't change that much. You just kind of like have to take an optimal route before they nerf them, where after the nerf you can kind of fuck up a bit and not die. Fucking crawls, dude. So fighting these guys one-on-one has been fine, but that's what chat was saying, is they were fine one-on-one, and they just, when you start fighting multiple, it just starts getting stupid, which I am probably going to agree with. And I beat the DLC pretty quickly, because, you know, I wanted to PvP. And it's not... Ringed City's decently long, but it's you know, it's not crazy big DLC or anything. It's like 3 solid zones, I would say. I love Ringed City though. Now Dark Souls 3 has its problems, especially the R1 soul issues, but it's great. I tell you though, I'm just so happy that the boss design in Night Rain is awesome. I'm so happy. Like, Elden Ring was such a downer for me. I just absolutely detested everything about the shift in design philosophy, and everyone defending it and everything, and just like fighting against the criticism, and like just drives me crazy because it's like a lot of people, it's like I think they derive too much like that guy's pretty chill, but it's like people have too much pride in these games, right? And like they don't want to diminish their accomplishment of beating them. They like put their personality in that, and I think that's really fucking stupid. And because of that, though, people don't really listen to like criticism and whatnot. And they see like you see people criticizing Elden Ring's design or Dark Souls design or whatever as criticizing them, or like lowering their accomplishment of beating that game and so on and so forth. And so people are just very biased, I think. And you know, obviously I'm generalizing. Not everyone's like that, of course not. But I think that affects the FromSoft community pretty heavily, at least the vocal minority. And FGO, man, holy fuck, all the whales. They spent all this money and stuff. You criticize whatever game they whaled in, and they just take it personally and all that nonsense. Exact same shit. But it's like the telegraphing in Elden Ring had gotten so bad. I really, like Shadow of the Erdtree. I was just like, ugh. I was so done with it, man. Everything was just so fucking obtuse, and it was literally nothing but memorization. Like, any level of intuitiveness didn't even matter anymore, right? And it just felt so dumb. Like, I had so little fun playing it because of that. But then Night Rain comes along, and it's like they found a way to like logically expand on like the Dark Souls 3 formula, but still like evolve it and still make it more challenging and stuff, but without it just being, it's faster and there's more delay attacks that fire off like lasers, right? They found a way to like be more interesting than that. And it's such a breath of fresh air. So I just hope though that the next game doesn't just instantly abandon that, because obviously Miyazaki is not the one doing Night Rain, so. I have some degree of faith that FromSoft is going to hear the criticism, though, of like, yeah, we want hard bosses, but not this, because the bosses have been really divisive. So presumably this is the last Desert Pyromancer. I mean, I guess the Dreg Heap is so large and expansive. Like, I guess God knows what's like around the whole planet of Dark Souls 3 at this point. I guess this isn't necessarily the last one, but certainly the last one you see. And she's a fucking bitch. She hits so hard, like it's just absolutely ridiculous. Look at that shit. This might be a good Leo Ring moment. Put the fireballs down. Fucking Christ, you know what I'm saying? Good lord, like, and if you use that ability, it does so little damage. And she has more than one flask, apparently. Ugh. There's like no way to hit her without hit trading unless you get lucky, really. What kind of fucking name is Zoe in Dark Souls? I mean, I'm named Bob, so actually I can't really say anything. That was kind of funny because we were invading yesterday and like that evil as fuck armor set, and some of those people were clearly noobs, right? So you have this crazy red and this evil as fuck armor set running at them, super aggro with a straight sword, named Bob. Okay, we did it. We definitely didn't get all the loot out there, though, but low on flasks here. I might have to go back and do a second pass. Yeah, their like spooky face black hood mask thing is pretty cool. Kind of like the what do you call them? Black Knives. Always a pretty old name. Is it really? It's not like I've looked into it at all. Sounds modern as hell, but yeah, maybe it's not. Okay, there's not many enemies left, so even though I'm out of healing, I should be fine. Almost jumped off the wrong way there. Oh yeah, there's the twin shield weapon in here earlier in the stage, though. What are you doing out here? Jeez. This shit is wild, though. You hit trade with fucking Flame Fan and you lose over half your life. Frickin' nonsense. There's loot right over there that I forgot. There's like a drop down area here. Yeah, there's an item down there. No idea what any of this loot is. This whole area, though, is a dungeon from Dark Souls 2. Off memory, the Desert Pyromancers were in a few different zones, not just this one. And I don't think they really ever explained what their, like, allegiance was. It's been a really long time since I looked into anything Dark Souls 2, so maybe they did and I just forgot. But I really don't remember them having any kind of, like, clear alignment with any faction or anything like that. It's from the Greek word. Well, a lot of things in, you know, the English-related languages. I think Germanic or whatever the fuck are normally Greek-influenced. I forget what, like, the family tree is called. Languages get pretty, convoluted. Very messy. Okay, I think we got everything in there, but we missed a couple of things. I forgot to talk to Lap. Excuse me. Okay, well, Demon Prince is literally right there. That's the boss entrance. But, let me fix a few things here. I mean, plenty of things are not Greek influenced. Like, Asia is not Greek influenced. And there's a lot of, like, you know, islands and civilizations and stuff that just were not connected. Like, Greek is very influential in a certain part of the world, but in terms of the total globe, I mean, they're a lot more complicated than that. Okay, wait, I have to go back. Oh, fuck, we really messed this up. I gotta go all the way back to the beginning, god damn it. Oh yeah, and there's that drop-off where you get the Lothric banner. So chat, the Dragon and Night Rain is one of the weaker Night Lord bosses, I would say, unfortunately. And, you know, it has some of the typical issues that FromSoft dragons have, other than Midir. But it's not like awful, right? And the vibe and music, right, is so good, it gets a royal pardon in my book. Like, I ultimately just, like, love that fight, even though it's, like, mechanically, its normal attacks and stuff aren't super interesting. And then the tricky stuff is just like, you know, an aura of frost bite, which is just super annoying and kind of skillless. So it's not particularly fun, but the music and like the lore of that dragon and everything, it's just so fucking awesome that, yeah, it's forgiven for any of its faults. Oh, right, I need to kill those two again. I actually find the music to be very classical music inspired, and actually so much so I'm almost positive if you ask the composer, they're gonna say that it was inspired by a lot of classical music. Like, just throughout all of the tracks, there are so many things that are like classical music motifs and stuff. There's like just no way that's not an influence. Fucking shield bash. To be fair, if I was playing this Lothric Knight and I knew the guy had a parry tool, I would do nothing but shield bash attacks. Like, if I could play a Lothric Knight, I would be so fucking toxic with the moveset. My favorite soundtrack for FromSoft, though, is still Armored Core. But, and probably For Answer in particular. It's tough, though. There's some really good Armored Core music out there. But Armored Core is just too special, man. But, like, Night Rain's great. Night Rain's soundtrack, just, wow. Real good. And for the more, like, bombastic, epic stuff, I would say Dark Souls 3 probably did that best. Because, although it is very, you know, very over-the-top epic stuff, I think they put enough personality in there for, like, Twin Princes and Pontiff and stuff like that, that, I really like it. But I will say, I think Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, although good soundtracks, and they have some key songs that really are Chef's Kiss, I think they are noticeably weaker overall as a soundtrack compared to, like, Armored Core or Night Rain. And I'd say even Elden Ring, although that depends, but there are some key tracks, like Smelter Demon's theme and all that, that's great. There's certainly, I mean, Pontiff's theme is so killer.
Look at you. You've got your head screwed on correct. Fantastic. To meet a kindred spirit on this god's forsaken crag. Call me Lap. I can't remember my real name, so let's just go with that. I have a feeling we're going to make a fabulous team. Oh, you'll see. You'll see.
I love everything about this, though, because when I first played it, like, if you haven't played Dark Souls 1 and you haven't, like, followed the history of the voice acting in these games, you probably are just going to assume that, you know, this is Patches. You're not going to be surprised by it, because you can tell it's the voice actor. The thing is, that voice actor has just legitimately voiced other characters in the Souls games, and they're not Patches. Right? Like in Dark Souls 1, he voices Patches and Lautrec, right? And so you see this guy, and it's like, I'm instantly like, okay, that's Patches' voice actor. So you're like on guard, but it's like, it's a possibility. He's just, voicing a different character. And then Lap, goes, it is very helpful to you for a good while. Gets you that slab if you miss it. Like that slab I found earlier by that one enemy that wasn't aggro. If you miss that, he'll bring it to you, right? Like he does a lot of like useful stuff like that.
Oh, in all honesty,
yeah, I definitely noticed it was the same voice. It was very obvious to me.
I'm hollow. Yes, I try to play it off, but I haven't a clue about my past, who I was, or what I lived for. Not even my own blessed name. That's why I've come here, searching for the Purging Monument. Said to be in the Ringed City, where the pygmies who found the Dark Soul at the Dawn of Fire reside. All I can say is, those little stones aren't doing much to help me remember anymore.
So, Demon's Souls, I would say, has the better soundtrack compared to Dark Souls 1. And, like, I'm very biased in Dark Souls 1's favor, right? It was the first game I played. I think it is a very special game and everything. But I do think Demon's Souls has the better soundtrack. And, it is good. It's like, the final song, depending on the ending, but you got, like, the One Who Craves Souls and Maid of Astraea's theme. I mean, these are just really special songs that fit the moment and are really tailored to the moment and are just really incredible. And Demon's Souls definitely pulls from some like old, very medieval, right? Very heavy medieval stuff, which I like. Like some people don't like Tower Knight's theme and stuff like that, but I think it really works. I think it super works. I love Demon Souls' vibe. I just like adore it, and the fact that the remaster butchers it so much. They butcher the soundtrack, they butcher the visuals. They really lost like the whole vibe that that game had, and that is so sad to me because FromSoft has no control over it, and I've already seen it. I've seen this so clearly because sadly for Demon Souls, it has kind of always been the Souls game that's been forgotten. Because one, it was only on PlayStation, and the series wasn't popular yet, right? I've seen this overwhelmingly when I talk to random Souls players, and you watch a video about Dark Souls online and stuff. Almost no one has played Demon Souls, and they certainly didn't start with it, right? Most people started with either Dark Souls or Elden Ring, and a lot of it Dark Souls 2 actually, because Dark Souls 2 had a lot of first timers because of the fame of Dark Souls 1, right? So it's very common it's rare that they started with Dark Souls 3, I find. But yeah, Dark Souls 1 and 2 and then Elden Ring is where overwhelmingly most people get into the series. And then so for those people, right? So way more players didn't play Demon Souls than did. Not even close, like overwhelming. And then of those players that want to check Demon Souls out, they always check out the remaster because it's a lot more available. Always. Oh, I mean, always. And I've already seen it when people are like talking about the series as a whole, and maybe they have B-reel or they start talking about Demon Souls for a bit or whatever. They always use the remaster, and they always talk about the remaster and the remaster's music and blah, 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 blah. The only people that, really make a distinction between the original and the remaster are the oldies, right, that played the original, right? That's really the only people that I find, which is a very small number of people. So Demon Souls, I think, is kind of tarnished, if you will, because of that. And I think it'll get worse as time goes on. I think the original will be more and more lost to time, which I just think is, it's fucked. It's kind of like you have a piece of art, like a painting or the Mona Lisa or something like that. And instead of the original being preserved, it gets a counterfeit that's quite different is the thing that ends up getting remembered. And the original is lost. Because that's what's happening. That's straight up what's happening. It gets harder and harder to find original Demon Souls stuff. And a lot of the newbies to the series, I think, see what I'm like complaining about and other people complain about. They see it as like gatekeeping or just being back in my day. It's really not. Some people might be like that, but it really is not that. I think there's a real clear degradation in the art. I don't think you can look at the zone like Latria and the two different versions of the game and not see the just massive degradation in the art there. And there's so much of that in the remaster. It really is sad to me, because like the game that I like, for Demon Souls, is kind of gone. Who knows? Maybe someday they'll make a better like remaster of the original. We'll see.
Well,
but yeah, it is kind of like the Hollow Slayer Greatsword. I mean, that was kind of the point, right?
Forget who you are. Don't be wroth with me. Come on. What else can I say? I'm a bloody hollow, for heaven's sake. Well, that's the long and short of it. So if I completely forget who you are...
Let me get some water real quick, chat.
Come on. What else can I say?
And this could happen to Bloodborne too, by the way. If they remaster Bloodborne, the exact same thing could happen. Now, Bloodborne has always been a bit more accessible than Demon Souls, so more people have played it. But not that many. Like, really not that many. It's still a kind of a minority played game in the franchise, I would say. This is definitely going to make me sound like an elitist asshole, but sometimes I think you got to call a spade a spade. And I'm not prescribing this mindset to any individual, and it certainly isn't the mindset of everyone in the that has a disagreeing opinion with me. But I think what happens a lot with games like Demon Souls Remaster is you have people that play it for the first time, they don't know the history of the series and all that, and they see the incredibly pretty graphics and the good character creation that the remaster has. And it just like any adaptation or something like that, it still maintains some of the original's glory, right? It's not like everything in the remaster is bad when it comes to the art side. So they see some of what's good about Demon's Souls, and again, they see these awesome graphics and the great animation quality, right, for the backstabs and everything. And so they enjoy that so much. And again, they don't know what they're missing from the original and what changed and stuff. So they really enjoy. Okay, game, this is just getting silly. But yeah, they don't know what's changed, and so they hear people complaining that the remaster is really not doing a good job of preserving the original and yada yada, and that takes away from. They see that as almost an attack on this experience that they had a great time with, right? And so they don't really look at the criticism very critically, ironically, or objectively or anything like that. I think this happens with Dark Souls 2 a lot. A lot of people started with Dark Souls 2, and they're not really hearing the criticism of it, right? And some people do. Again, plenty of people here like Dark Souls 2, but they accept the valid criticisms. But people are just very emotional like that with things, and what I'm getting at is that's a bad thing. Don't be like that. It's okay to like you. Because they're not mutually exclusive, right? You can be like, you know what? I really enjoyed the Demon's Souls remaster. I love these visuals and these backstab animations are so cool. Right? I had such a great time with this. But you know what? I totally, I can still see how, them changing the Maida and Nostria music is really not capturing, the artist's intent and all that stuff. And I can see why, these people don't like it because of that, right? You can have both of these things. You can be like, man, I love Dark Souls 2, and it's so, all for this, that, and the other. I mean, hell, I'm a big critic of Dark Souls 2, but I can still appreciate, because the inverse is true too, by the way. Some people are seeing red, right, and they hate Dark Souls 2 so much they can't see the things it does do well, right? Meanwhile, I don't like Dark Souls 2, but I'm like, yep, bonfire aesthetics. That was a pretty great idea. Company of Champions, or whatever the fuck it's called. That was a really good idea. Maybe not implemented great, but power stancing was a good idea. I can name a lot of stuff about the game that was a really good idea. I don't have to hate every fucking aspect of Dark Souls 2. But I think this really stifles online talk about anything, Xbox versus PlayStation, or Dark Souls stuff, you name it. Are we getting fucked up out here? I just tried to two-hand my weapon, and I did the Elden Ring input, and if you do the Elden Ring input, you just do an R1, which, made me bounce off his shield, so that wasn't great. Seeing red, BBB, exactly. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say Dark Souls 2 had 100 bad ideas, or 100 ideas, and 10 of them were good. That's about right. But the 10 that it got really right, and I think it is such a fucking catastrophe that some of the stuff from Dark Souls 2 hasn't been continued on into the rest of the series. I mean, some of it has. They did adopt the dual wielding. It's a bit different in Elden Ring, but I would say it's actually better in Elden Ring, in my opinion. A lot of people disagree with that, but it's a bit simplified, but I think that's a good thing. I think the dual wielding is done quite well in Elden Ring. Where I think it was actually pretty wonky in Dark Souls 2. Why did Lap not show up here? Do I have to, reload the area? Cannot teleport to the zone you are already in. I will say, the Souls series has had a lot of ups and downs. It's a hell of a ride, but I am so interested, right, in what comes next. Right? Do we get Elden Ring 2 or Dark Souls 4 or Dragon Souls or whatever? And we got these side games as well. And it's so enjoyable following the series and seeing what decisions they make. And here's the thing. Here's the real thing. I love cool medieval armor and axes, and being able to blend PvE and PvP and invade people and be invaded and everything. I love that so fucking much. It's one of my favorite things in any video game ever. And right now, chat, right now, what I'm looking forward to most about Elden Ring 2 or Dragon Souls or whatever the hell is just, and if it doesn't give me this, I'm gonna be pissed, right? I'm just thinking about, hopefully we get cool medieval armor and cool battle axes and I get that, you know, invasion nonsense and all that. So that's what I want, right? So if they give me steampunk, I'm not happy. If they give me futuristic, I'm not happy, right? None of that bullshit. I want my armor, I want my axe, I want my invading, right? That every time a new game is coming out, everything else is super secondary, right? Like the boss balance, all of that stuff, super secondary. Me want armor and PvP, right? That's about all there is going on here. Yeah, axe. Look, axes were good in Dark Souls 2, right? There was that. I'm gonna shock everyone by saying I'm not going to wear the Desert Pyromancer equipment. Did I find all of it? Actually, I didn't. Now I just know I missed loot. Oh, what did I miss? I know I didn't look around maybe as thoroughly as I could have. What the fuck did I miss though? God damn it. Coward. I missed the twin shields too. Which that's a hell of a weapon. It's actually really good on the host side if you're like 3v1ing, like you have the numbers advantage. Like one of you uses the shields, it can be very good. Not so good in like a straight 1v1 though. Fucking idiot just walked off the cliff there. Oh, I think that was the Pyromancer piece I missed. That's weird that one piece of it's not in the section over there. I still need the doors. Kinda remember where they're at. Like, I know what it looks like the ledge they're on. I think that's it. That guy waiting in ambush in the wrong direction. Giant door shield. The hell of an item. Got a one-of-a-kind moveset, too. And like you're obviously blocking during that, and it's like a great shield block, so it's very difficult for things to get through it. And then I think it had a special weapon, lockout. Oh my god, yep. And the cool thing about this is it has a hitbox, like you cannot get through it. Like if there's a hallway and you block it with this, they cannot get through it. And like you can use talismans and stuff to boost your block and everything. It's really funny. Knock knock. You know somebody found that when the DLC dropped and they're just like, I'm maining this. One of those weapons I think FromSoft is like, okay, this is gonna be niche, but we're gonna cook. I think I have all the loot now. If I missed anything else, it can't be that important. Oh yeah, there's that. Fuck, I don't remember how to get that. I know there's a way to get it, like, in a way that you're not supposed to. Definitely remember there's like some bullshit jump you can do to fuck with the game. I don't think it's very good. I think that loot is like random as hell. Like a twinkling titanite or something. It's gonna piss me off. Sucks too because I have figured out how to get this in the past, but it's just been so long I don't remember. Oh, there we go. That wasn't as complicated as it looked. Oh wow, it was indeed a twinkling titanite. Okay, I think we can move on. Nice to be thorough.
Oh, look at you. You found the treasure. Dashing. Just dashing. You'll make good use of it, I'm sure. Now, this is a little toast from me to you.
The demon item.
Not much to speak of, but bottoms up to the greatest warrior there is. This really is a dreck heap at the world's end. Mangled remnants from every age and every land. It actually sort of lends credence to the old rumors that the ringed city rests below it all. This really is a dreck heap.
Alright.
This really...
Alright, I don't think there's any more there. I thought he moved on, but I guess you have to fight the boss. I have no idea how this is gonna go. Let's see. Wait, did I not get the Ring of Favor +2? Did I just miss every piece of loot that matters? I thought I did everything. Motherfucker, dude. Sure looks like it. Don't you sass me. I thought I got it. Fuck. Hi, Lap. Oh, man. We were not being as thorough as I thought, clearly. Now we got the Serpent Ring. The Silver Serpent Ring +2. Or +3. We're back! I think that's it right there. It's like the whole reason to come over here, man. If you want to get this early, you can. You can actually get this very early in your playthrough. You have to just get to Cathedral of the Deep. But then you have to beat Frida. But yeah, if you want a low-level character, you gotta do it. Like if you want to do like a PvP setup or something. A lot of people these days just hack, man. It sucks. Like they just cheat engine. I think it takes 4% off of my equip load. Pretty nice. It actually takes more than that because the other ring was taking some off, so it's probably more like 5.5%. I have an easier time with Frida when I do low-level stuff, but I've also fought her more. I remember I used to really struggle with Frida, and there was this one time where I just really figured the strategy out, and it really helps. I don't know if that'll matter now, but back in the day, kind of once I cracked the code, I started being able to whoop her ass on lower level characters pretty easily. Never cracked the code with Demon Prince. I have every ring but the fire one. And now at a principle, I want it. And there's a Ring of Evil Eye, like +3 or whatever, and let me think. Where the hell is the fire one? My memory. How did I find everyone but that one? I don't know if I would use it or not, but I just want it. Fuck, let me think. Where is that thing? I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look it up. Feels bad. I got nothing. Most of these I can remember where they were, or at least vaguely, but I really don't remember. It is located... It's in the Undead Settlement. Oh my god, it's that fuck. I don't even need to look up the rest of it. Just hearing Undead Settlement, I know where it's at. It's that fucking corpse that like you have to like shoot with a crossbow, or you can like fall into it, but you take a bunch of fall damage. fucking we spent hours in the undead settlement, dude. I mean, a lot of that was us yapping, but fucking god. I thought I did everything there, but nope. It was us. Like we were conversing. Don't act like chat wasn't a part of that. We were yapping. So I saw someone say Elden Ring and Dark Souls are connected because the Night Rune, which is like goes on top of the Elden Ring, and it looks like it was like part of it that got like siphoned off or hidden or something like that, which is pretty believable. But anyway, when you put it all together, it looks like the dark sign, and it kind of does, to be honest. But I don't think that, like, the fucking foreign helmet or whatever the fuck, right? Like the visor slit. That shit looks like Marika's section of the Elden Ring. That doesn't mean anything. It's just a shape, for God's sakes. Now, like, you know, if more than that was pointing in that direction, right? That might be one thing. But it's like that alone is just so little that could just easily be a coincidence. That is not enough. The Patches is in fucking Armored Core too, so I've always said, like, Elden Ring being connected to Dark Souls is significantly more likely than all of the other ones, but it's still like there's not enough there right now. That guy's brilliant. Also, if we'd made that fall, we would definitely die. Although I have the cat ring, so I probably wouldn't, but without it. Can you parry these guys? I kind of doubt it. Well, maybe, I don't know. Those swings do kind of look parryable. Do it again. Maybe the one-handed ones. Because earlier, it looked like I got a parry and it just didn't work. So maybe it's just the one-handed attacks that are parryable. Don't know. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? It normally falls down here. What the f- I do not want to be in the undead settlement right now. Oh my god. Yeah, it's like random. I've seen that before. The physics on that thing are not like consistent in the way it falls. God damn it. And a lot of times if you knock it down when you're up there, then it will fall all the way down. Like, fuck. But I have cat rings, so I should have just gone from that angle. Undead settlement is lame. I hate it here. I'm being very reckless and taking a lot of damage. Resident Evil 4. Yeah. Never played that game. I've seen enough like clips of it and stuff that I know what you mean. So is Resident Evil 4 the best one? Because that's what I hear a lot. This section is really toxic without a shield equipped. It is an interesting encounter though, because if you take your time with it, you can line of sight and use your shield, and it can be done reasonably without taking damage. The most popular, at least. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. Okay, are you fucking happy, game? Jesus. I swear, if there's a +3 version of this ring, so like there's no real reason to have the +0 version, I am not gonna be fucking happy. It's only adds 10% damage reduction. I mean, not that crazy. I definitely get the feeling there's going to be a plussed up version, so I just did that for nothing. This seems like something this game would do. Be especially annoyed if it was in the Frida DLC, because we were supposed to do that one first, and I just didn't. Going to change the series for the worse. What I've heard, it's like that made the game, it made the series more actiony, but it was still kind of like a mix. And then the later games were almost full action, which I would say that's more of the later game's fault. Like, because I think a hybrid sounds good, honestly. The original games don't appeal to me at all. Where 4, I'm like, yeah, that could be good. And then the newer ones don't appeal to me either. So, you know, even though I haven't played it, it kind of seems like a sweet spot to me. I wonder how hard it is to do a full miracle build, right? Where you do like all of your damage, or like 90% of it is from the miracles. Not hard with int. I've done it with int before. Murky's hand scythe, broken as hell. Yeah, I have lightning spear, but I don't have that much faith. If I was gonna be full on faith, I'd have way more faith right now and not 18 decks and stuff. And I think there's another ring that boosts your miracle damage. I think there's 2. I know int has 2 that stack. I guess we use the fire one. I can't think of another ring to equip right now. Estus ring is fine. What has better fire? Oh, this has slightly better fire as this. This is even better fire. I have a hard time making the Lothric armor look good, though. It's also very heavy. Let's see if we can make Drake Blood look good. So, fun little reference in here. Where's my Drake Blood helmet? But, in Dark Souls 1, the Black Knights, you know, their armor became black because they fought demons so much. And they had a whole giant-ass war with the demons. And their weapons in this game, the Black Knight weapons, will do bonus damage to the Demon Prince here. And if you have a build that's already good with Black Knight weapons, like maybe the regular Greatsword or something, and you get that bonus damage on top of it, you can fuck him up. These don't add that much fire resist. Actually, that one doesn't add fire resist at all, and it's heavier. That one has less fire resist. Huh, I wonder if the Elite Knight armor has good fire resist then. I need to check. It's fun looking at some of this stuff. Only the legs have more. Strange. Yeah, Drake Blood has more fire resist on everything but the legs. How odd. That only adds a few percent total though. It's nothing crazy. And then what about Sacred Oath? Oh, that increases your resistances as well. Interesting. Alright. Off we go. Firelink Shrine down here, by the way, from the original game. So the first one that's on fire is the one we need to kill, apparently. The demon from below needs to die. Easy with the poison, champ. I'm used to doing so little damage because I'm low level. It's nice actually chunking these guys. That was so much easier than normal. I mean, obviously we're not done yet, but, oh, you have to kill both? Oh, wait, okay, no. Or do you? Fuck, I think you have to kill both. Fuck. Getting way ahead of myself here. I would be dead at low level right there. I really do hate how in the Souls games you go to roll last second, but it's too late and you get hit, and then as soon as it hits over, your character fucking rolls. I hate that so much. We got so fucked up there unnecessarily. Really? Bro. Oh, we took some hits. I bet she's gonna explode. Okay, that's a lot of health. God, and I did this with a +2. What is wrong with me? Granted, it was like a really good weapon for +2, but still. That must have taken so long. Okay, nice tracking. I think we killed the wrong one. I'm not sure, but this doesn't seem like the laser beam one. I've been lied to. don't know which one is which. I just somehow killed the correct one. Yeah, I don't think we killed the right one. I ain't seeing no laser beam. Bro. Really sick of that attack. You cannot fucking see it. Yeah, this is toxic as fuck. It's gonna run way over here and hope for the best. That's bullshit. Hello? Stealthy guy. I kind of messed up bringing these blue flasks. We're not gonna have time to use them anyway. Well, thank God. Nerd! That was the harder Demon Prince too. Yeah, the other one, instead of doing those like tracking fireballs and that giant ass explosion that followed me forever, instead I'll do like this giant laser beam that's honestly pretty easy to avoid, and then while he's shooting it, you can just wail on him. Makes him a lot easier. Nice cover. Yeah, that didn't work at all. Okay, so don't kill Demon from below first. Kill whatever the hell the other one's name is. It's crazy how much harder that one is. Like that giant explosion is incredibly hard to deal with. But yeah, this area, it's easy to not notice. I think they did it on purpose, but it's absolutely Firelink. Kind of crazy to think in Dark Souls 1 that area you're hanging out in eventually turns into this battlefield for the Demon Prince. But like that's the well. And there's a lot of like little hints here and there, but super easy to not notice. I think it's awesome. Some people think there's too many callbacks. I don't really think so. I think the callbacks serve a very good purpose. It's very much like, remember that masterpiece, awesome Dark Souls 1, all those great and cool environments? Look how fucked up they are now. Yeah, I completely agree, Fenrir. What's the point of a sequel if it's not actually connected to the prior game? I dislike sequels where it's like, it's so disconnected from the original, it's like basically not, there's nothing to do with anything, right? It's just like, what's the fuck is the point of that? And yeah, you can like be overly referential for sure, and you can have like shallow connections to the original, but I don't think Dark Souls 3's connections to the original are shallow. I mean, maybe a few of them are, but for the most part, I think it's fine. I'll play Sekiro one of these days. I'm just so not into... the gameplay looks good, okay? Like, I like blocking mechanics, right? And that game is basically perfect block the game, right? But I don't like having to be a weeb. I don't like having to use a katana the entire game, right? All that, just... There's so much about that. I'm not about it. But I do love perfect block mechanics, and that's essentially what Sekiro is. And, you know, that's cool. Funnily enough, I am still handicapping myself somewhat because like I could obviously be leveling up like right now and I'm not. And I'm not picking a build that I know is absolutely most effective. If I was trying to be like really unhinged, I'd be leveling it like Vitality some and using Hovel +2 and wearing, you know, the big boy armor and all that kind of stuff, and I'd use the weapons that, you know, like Dragon Slayer axe until I get higher and that kind of stuff. But the thing is, like, my damage is higher than it would be if I was low level and all that, but it's not that much higher. So because I'm being Faith, it's not really changing too much. It is changing. This is absolutely easier. Like I've done Demon Prince enough on low level to be like, yeah, that was a lot easier. Like no question. But like an optimal low level is not that much weaker than an unoptimal like leveled character. The main thing is weapon upgrade. Holy fuck. Like when I would do that with a +2, because I have vague memories of doing that with Dragon Slayer Axe at +2, and I do remember just having to wail on that boss. And I put like the good consumables on my bar and was like using them like every time they'd expire and stuff. Shit was ridiculous. I think I streamed one time doing that too, where I was like really low. Fucked. Once I've done it, it's like, I don't need to do it again. Like, I can just have fun. Although sometimes it is fun. Like, it really can be fun to, like, really have to master the moveset. Because obviously there was, like, that slam, I got the hang of it at the end, but, like, I get hit, like, 2 out of 3 times, right? Where if you really want to do it at low level, you need to get it hit, you know, preferably, you know, 0 out of 3 times, so. I don't remember how to do this part. Yeah, these guys were, like, sent here by Vendrick to explore the Ringed City, and they didn't make it very far, and they got murdered, and their souls got trapped by this guy, and now they're like forever defending it. I went the wrong way. Woo! Yeah, Ringed City looks nice. It's cool. I do like how before you get to the Ringed City, though, they just have some, you know, fun with the environment around the Soul of Cinder, right? They kind of explore that a little bit. Not the theme of the whole DLC, obviously. It's like the minority of it, but I think that's a really nice touch. I think Ringed City is just so much better than the Ashes of Ariandel, which is just literally one snow blob forever. And I love snow environments, don't get me wrong, but they were just so boring with that shit. Ringed City is just way better. Yeah, I was really hoping that Shadow of the Erdtree was going to be the Ringed City to Elden Ring, but it was not. There are aspects... Okay, this is so much easier at higher level. Because one, getting hit right here, I would be dead. I would 100% be dead. Well, I might be dead anyway. It's going to be close. But, like, this guy took fucking forever to kill at low level. And, like, there are parts of Shadow of the Erdtree that I do like. But, God, I just can't stand that you look at the map and you see, like, an area down there. It's like, oh, I wonder how I get there. And then it's just some, like, completely obtuse cave that has nothing to do with anything. Like, there's just so many connections like that that are just so fucking dumb. And it's just, it's a pain to explore. I think that's the best way of putting Shadow of the Erdtree. It is an absolute pain in the fucking ass to explore that map. Just the thought, that's the one thing I'm gonna be playing Elden Ring again whenever Tarnished Edition comes out, right? and we're gonna play it like a normal human being. And I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to Shadow of the Erdtree, and it's not really even because of the bosses. I just don't want to fucking have to fucking remember how to get to all the goddamn areas. Like, I don't fucking know. Fucking garbage. I think I remember some of the connections. There's like 2 really obtuse connections that I definitely remember. That will make it a lot less annoying to replay. Definitely don't remember where all the shadow fragments are. We're definitely gonna miss some of that. Yeah, Rawl, or where the fuck, I hate that place. Ugh. Ugh. It looks cool, but not fun in any capacity. I'm looking forward to fighting Rolana again. The magic fire windsword lady. I'm kind of looking forward to fighting the hippopotamus again, just because I don't really remember it that well, and I'm kind of curious how I just feel about it, so I just want to see him again. Shadow fragments need to just drop from bosses. Like, if you go beat the Shadow Knights, right?
Many of us are by the fire, forsaken. I speak.
Look, man, I'm trying to talk to my chat. Anyway, if you fight like one of the Shadow Knights or the Katana demi-human, you should just get a Shadow Fragment. And then there should be more Shadow Fragments than you need. Because there's more Golden Seeds than you need, right? Like, it's crazy they didn't do that with the Shadow Fragments. No idea what they were thinking. Also, this guy's speaking.
One was a wayfaring knight on an endless, forbidden search. Only
Alva?
the abyss granted closure, if not reunion with his beloved. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
So, he's definitely talking about Alva there. Alva's story is pretty sad, man. Because I might be remembering it slightly wrong, but like at the start of the game, right, in the base game, he's clearly looking for Zuli, and I guess there's a chance he's looking for Carla, but I suspect like he went to the Illithral dungeon because he heard a witch was locked up there, and he was hoping it was Zuli, and it just wasn't. Now there's a chance that Carla is maybe their daughter or something. It's not really clear, but you know, basically Alva pretty much made it to the end of the world, although I think he kind of gave up at the very end here. But you're looking for Zuli, but it's like really implied that Zuli just didn't make it. So it's like he's been looking for her, but she's probably just, you know, long gone. Feels bad, man. Also, these fucking guys. Yeah, you get invaded by Alva again. Even though you seem to have, like, fucked him up in the dungeon, but I guess he pulled himself together again. But, can never find Zuli again. And, like, that guy's saying, you know, that he found peace in the dark, but not I don't know if that's really true, because he invades you again. And he said, but, you know, he didn't, get reunited with his beloved, so... I do not wish to ever see Consort Radahn. Yeah, next time I fight him, I'm gonna choose the shit out of him. I'm not sure in which method. There's a few ways to do it. But, I don't know. Maybe I'll do phase 1 legit. I don't know. I don't want to memorize all that bullshit again.
Oh. Well, fancy meeting you here. A true blessing that we should seek the same place and find ourselves standing here together. I've got the last of my brew. Let's have our own little toast with it.
I know one method. This is not real. I've never seen anyone do Radahn with this, but this is just a known cheese method. is you use the Coated Sword, which is really cool anyway, but because it's pure holy damage, it gets like more benefit from a lot of the items that boost damage type than normal, because most of them are split damage. They're physical and magic or what have you. But the Coated Sword is 100% holy. So you can use the holy scorpion thing, and you just get a pure damage bonus from it. You can use the holy boost crack tier, and you just get a pure damage bonus from it, right? You can do a bunch of shit like that. You can use Shard of Alexander for the weapon art, and you just get this astronomical amount of damage up. And you spam the weapon art, and you can kill bosses crazy quickly. That might not work on Radahn, though, because he might have good holy resist. I don't know, though. I'll have to... Might try that and see. That'd be interesting.
And to your duty, and to the joy that lies before us. All right, then. Bottoms up. Now, I'm off in search of the Purging Monument. Once I find it, everything will come back to me. Who I was, what I lived for, what my name was, and what terrible grudges I held. I don't know. I just have this feeling that that's the kind of man I was. Oh, don't hold it against me. I only think I was.
So I do wonder if Lap's personality here is how Patches was a long time ago. Right? Because you can kind of see aspects of Patches in him, right? And it's kind of like it's Patches when he was more innocent, I guess. It's kind of what it seems like. Hard to say, though. But it's possible he was more like this at one point, and then having lived a long time and seen a lot of things and all that, you know, he became who we know and love.
Now, I'm off in search of the Purging.
Okay. Same old, same old. It is interesting to think, though, because Dark Souls 3's ending is a little unclear, right? There's several different endings. And a lot of these, you know, characters, just due to the nature of the universe in Dark Souls, you know, a lot of them are reborn and brought back, and some of them lose their minds and can't hold it together anymore, right? All that stuff. Rip Lucatiel, by the way. But it's interesting to think about, like, what is going to happen to Alva and them and all that in some of these endings, and like what, you know, like especially the some of the Firekeeper ones. Those endings are kind of strange. You have the Londor ending and all that. So it's definitely the asshole ending, but I love the one where you know, the Firekeeper can like snuff out the flame and all that, and she like absorbs it. And that seems like one of the better endings, honestly. But you can, and this is such a easily missable ending, right? And I don't think they've ever done an ending like this before or after, where you do all this stuff to unlock X ending. You start executing X ending, and this tiny window where you have, it's easy to think you don't have control of your character, right? Because the screen's like really, really black. But you actually have control of your character. And you can kill her, right? For a few seconds, you're controlling your character, you can kill the Firekeeper, and it changes the ending, right? Instead of like going on the ending you're on, you get a different one where you like take the flame from her and you absorb it, and you know what power is left of the first flame, you just like take it for yourself completely. God knows what even happens in that ending, because like that's never really happened before with the first flame. So I mean, who knows? Maybe that does fix things, but you most certainly are going to be a tyrant. So. Yeah, I know one person that got that ending on accident. They like put their controller down and hit the R1 button, and they were like, "Oh God!" And they didn't want that ending at all. But it's actually a pretty big reference to Demon Souls, because like in the ending you like you step on the corpse of the Firekeeper and everything, like you're like disrespecting her, right? You're like, "Ah, fuck her, who cares?" And there's an ending like that in Demon Souls, so it's kind of a fun nod there. Okay, my rings are kind of all over the place here. I just ran on Bloodlust and decided to attack. Yeah, they normally have a few endings like that. I believe there's a Ring of Night here. Yeah, these rings are fine. Go get him. Wait a minute. Yeah, there he is. Don't remember their moveset at all. Let's see if it would be strong enough to be in Night Rain. Can I parry that? Well, if I can, I didn't succeed. Okay, this guy can probably be in Night Rain. Probably fine. This is already harder than like the Lindell Knights and whatnot. If you want to make Dark Souls enemies really tough, like in Night Rain, all you gotta do is make them not backstabbable like Crucible Knights, and you're gonna make them tough. I will say, there's a hard balance between trash mobs and bosses. So sometimes at low level, especially these later bosses, they can maybe have a little too much health if you're doing like low weapon upgrade, right? Like you're level like 10 or some shit and you have a low weapon upgrade. But like the trash mobs actually a lot of times feel better. They might do too much damage to you, but like we killed that guy too fast and we didn't really get to see his moveset. And I will say, when I've done Midir, now this might be just because Dragon Slayer, it actually absolutely is because Dragon Slayer Axe is OP. But when I've done Midir at like +2 or +3 or whatever, weapon upgrade, he feels really good, right? Like you kill him at a pretty reasonable pace. It's a big epic fight. But that's because Dragon Slayer Axe is really strong and he's weak to lightning and stuff. If I did like a +2, you know, broadsword or something, it's probably gonna be pretty rough. Oh yeah, these guys are like a whole gimmick. I clicked the kick button so many times there. I think I was out of stam or something. Hey, Frenzy. These guys are kind of awful at low level. It's very hard to kill them before they heal. And you have less endurance, so it's hard to get the kick off. Son of a bitch. You know, these enemies should be in Night Rain too, because on their own, they're not like that interesting. And like the Nightfarers could melt them, but when like placed in interesting locations and stuff, I think they could be really cool. Make a node or a Shattered Earth event, or both, where you can put them in some interesting locations on like rafters like this and things like that. Incentivize like maybe one of the 3 players to branch off and go deal with them while the other Nightfarers like deal with a big tough enemy or a mini boss or a boss, right? I really like stuff that incentivizes that kind of team play, right? Where it's like you don't need all the players to go kill these guys, but like somebody needs to do it, right? I like that. Yeah, that's a very good enemy, I think, to put into Night Rain. Honestly, I think Night Rain really fucked up not pulling more from the past Souls games. How did he know? What? Oh my god, I don't have cat ring on. Why? Every time I take the fucking cat ring off, I regret it. Motherfucker. And I don't think there's a bonfire up ahead either. That was a huge waste of life. Wait a minute, I should do, that. There we go. I told him. Alright. You see, I should really just get an R1 right there, right? Just a smack. I really shouldn't get a backstab. Trash mob. Or these guys are like, kind of mini bosses. That's why I don't like how you can get that much damage off of one whiff. Yep, these guys could definitely be a Night Rain. I'm actually kind of shocked they're not with a moveset like this. Fuck, I didn't think that hit me. That's a very satisfying clank sound there. Oh god, the Spear of the Church. At least I'm not low level. I remember last time I had to... Bro, there's like so much like content that you would think would be so hard at low level, but the fucking Spear of the Church boss fight, dude. Ugh.
Speak thee the name of God, thine own God, if thou canst recall. Ah, then thou'st not forgotten. Perhaps 'tis why we may converse. I am known as Shira, servant to the princess
Lady.
Filianor,
There's a guy coming.
matriarch of
If
the
you could,
church.
lady.
They who are kin to
La-
God's
lady.
name are surely kin to
Lady.
the terrors of the dark.
You want to spit it out? I don't know, maybe open the door, you know, that'd be nice. Fucking Bloodborne. Oh, fuck. Well, I need more endurance. Well, he freaking out. Boy, I like these chunks though.
Speak thee the name.
Oh my god.
Ah, then thou'st not. I am known as Shira, servant to the princess Filianor, matriarch of the church. They who are kin to God's name are surely kin to the
Not
terrors
again.
of the dark. Please, I bid thee take not from the princess her peace or rest. As the fire waneth, does she lie by the dark, all for the sake of man.
This lady's like one of the last fucking people that's still, like really on Team Gwyn after all these days. Definitely drank the Kool-Aid.
Thou'st a kind heart to speak to a captive such as I. It is no surprise thou rememberest our God. May I ask thee a kindness? Perhaps thou'st beheld the lone dragon that inhabiteth this city. Medir is his name, and the arch-dragons are his forebears. He once railed against the dark, but was by dark afflicted. Now here, returned, he remaineth, to watch over the sleeping princess, true to the old accord. And yet, I would have thee put the dragon to rest, before the dark consumeth him, and his vows are forgot. I offer my sincerest gratitude, thou who art kin to God's name. Please, take this.
So for many people, Medir was the final Dark Souls boss they ever fought because he kind of unlocks at the same time as Gale, but he's more hidden. And if you're kind of just like playing through the DLC naturally or don't look shit up, you're probably going to miss Medir and fight Gale, and then look up how to fight Medir and find it, or just look around and eventually find it, and then fight him. So it's pretty common that Medir was the final boss anyone ever fought, and he's got the highest stats in the game too. So
I have asked a thing most terrible of thee. May this token of thanks be of aid. I beg of thee, put the great dragon to rest, afore the dark consumeth him and his vows are forgot.
So Medir is so sad, and it's really not because the dark has corrupted him over time, although that's, you know, sad. But the real sad thing is he's a direct descendant of the original dragons, but he doesn't know. Like, he was brought up, you know, he was like taken when he was young or in an egg, and just brought up in the you know, religion and institute of all Way of White and Gwyn and all this. So he, you know, he doesn't know like the real truth of the history and everything. You know, it's all propaganda and whatnot. And so he's on Team Gwyn, right? The team that massacred his ancestors, and you know, he's just kind of ignorant and he spends his entire life fighting for this cause that's manipulating him, right? This cause that really hates dragons and that slaughtered his people and stole from them, And he's sacrificing his life and everything so hard and like fighting to the bitter end for them, and he doesn't even know. Pretty rough. My friend completely missed Midir and never fought him. Oof, that is such a waste. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people like that too. All right, big guy. You want to give me a flask or something? That'd be great. I tried to get a plunge attack there. Sometimes you can do it on steps. Try again. Nope, not quite. The angle's probably just ever so slightly not steep enough. I rolled too soon. These guys should be in Night Rain as well. Perfectly fun moveset to deal with. Although on their own, Nightfarers will fucking destroy them. Although maybe not Guardian, honestly. I could see him having an interesting time with all this nonsense. Like, Duchess will be able to avoid their attacks quite easily with her better dodge. Although if you get tagged, it's gonna be a bad time. And then, like, the range people can just blow him up. And, like, Iron Eye can just shoot him in the head. And he's, I think, like, the Humanities spot there. And it's a big weak spot. Wilder will have the most, like, normal experience with him. But if there's ever a problem, you could ult them. You never get a plunging attack. I always said R2. It's not R2. It's R1. Woo! Why you no do the execute? Bro. Like, I'm doing it pretty correct, I would say. We're near Alva and the Purging Monument. I wonder if you could stay near them when they're doing that as Duchess, like with her improved dodge. I wonder if it'd be good enough to kind of stay close to them and poke at them with the dagger. It's fast enough that even if you stay near them, though, you might not get anything out of it. Why do I never get the special animation? Herald Legion leggings. I don't remember their lore at all. Leggings worn by the Herald Legion who sought the Dark Soul. The leggings sank into the dark with the Legion, the leather partially melted, and the metal pieces showing signs of unsightly bloating. So I guess, like, they're just showing a group of knights or something that came to the Ringed City that wasn't originally here. And they're, like, bloated by the dark. Boy, we are getting fucked up out here. This guy looks like a gentleman. Definitely no gank going on here. Actually, I'm not sure there is a gank. Look at him using his fire as a smoke screen. Oh, there's Alva. Alright, where are you at? Oh, wrong class. There he is. That was close. Spam! Got him. And that's the last you see of Alva right there, sadly. Oh, right. So I guess she did almost make it to the end of the world, but I guess she didn't make it until he got here. So he was probably looking for her for, like, eons. And by the time he finally found her, she, dead. Or, you know, hollow, or however you want to put it. Rough. Yeah, I knew they didn't get a happy ending. How the fuck do I... There we go. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, we know that from the second game. Yeah, they don't... That's weird they give you no lore on her. That's, the same lore from Dark Souls 2. It's not really clear what the hell happened. Yeah, she's like, her thing is, she's kind of the classical, like, evil witch. It's all bitter and you never knew love, blah, 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 blah. And then she wants to, like, ruin Alva. And then she, falls in love with him and, has a happy ending for a while. And then Dark Souls 3 fucks it up, so, yeah, rippeth. And it's not really clear if Carla's related or not. I kind of get the feeling Carla is not related because Carla seems to have more connections to the, like, Daughters of Manus. And, she doesn't say anything, right? Like, when you talk to her about Alva or Zuli or anything like that, I think it really is just Alva was looking for Zuli and he, heard about a witch and thought, it might be her. And it wasn't. That guy's cursing me when he's just sitting there. It almost killed me. Basically death blight. Okay, you know what? Let's see how much of a difference this makes. Pretty decent. We could level our faith up more. When I find a bonfire, we'll level up our crossbow and our talisman. Or yeah, our talisman is only +6 for crying out loud. Be a bit scuffed. So chat, I'd heard the rumors that there were Phase 3 boss music themes for the Night Lords and Night Rain. And then, it's not a rumor, FromSoft said they're going to add a hard mode for the bosses soon. But I've now seen that it is indeed confirmed that the people aren't lying. There are third phase boss themes for all the bosses. So that's pretty interesting. Hopefully they're good, because I love the bosses right now. I definitely think they need a hard mode, though, because when you play with randoms or solo, the game is perfectly hard and there's no problem. But when I play with friends, we can just destroy that game, and like to the point where we don't have to respect the boss's movesets, which is not great. So I'm really hoping the hard mode will make it so even if you have a really good run or you're playing with friends, then they'll still be challenging. Honestly, so looking forward to that. I just hope they don't fuck it up and do any, like, lame stuff. I actually love, though, when I play with randoms and it's so scuffed. And, like, you have to work extra hard. I find that more rewarding than if, you just destroy everything. Well, so far, you never have to fight 2 of these at once. I think when you go down there, though, I think you do. Yeah, I haven't looked at it, but I've heard that people found some of the data, but it's incomplete. And that's not, that part is not as sure, because that could be cut content. They're like, hey, we're gonna make this to hard mode, and they're like, yeah, no, just no, scrap it, because that happens all the time. There's loads of boss moves and concepts that get cut from the game. So because it's not like they found the full-on boss fights phase 3. It's more like they found some unused model like changes, and they found some unused attack animations and stuff, and people are assuming that's going to be related to the hard mode stuff, and it very well could, but it could also just be it was going to be the hard mode, and then they got like, nah, fuck it, this is. But yeah, I know it's incomplete either way. It's just like certain moves and models and stuff, but I don't want to look at it because I don't want to spoil any of that shit. I wonder what these enemies are weak to. I would think blunt damage. Yeah, and I'd be willing to bet that even the ones that they found stuff on are not, that's not the full move set, or it's not going to be 1-to-1 and stuff like that. Like, it's probably prototype stuff. Surely this guy is not by himself. Huh, maybe he is. Yeah, I thought these guys ganked you, but really you just gotta be careful about how you pull them. It's not a big deal. I just got worse at the game. I did an R2. Well, he fakes you out with that ending. I was out of stam. I couldn't roll. I remember being kind of intimidated to like fight these guys head on at first, but man, after playing Elden Ring, this is a breath of fresh air. There ain't nothing. Well, they do hit hard. Let's see, there's a bonfire in here somewhere. So far, the Ringed Knights are the best trash mob in here. Like, no question. Right. I know what to do to unlock that. I just don't remember how you get around over there. Let me go back to Firelink real quick. Upgrade some stuff. Yeah, the marriage quest in this one is pretty whack.
Oh, hello again. Welcome to Patch's Boutique of Wonders. Can't resist it, can you? My sumptuous selection.
What a guy. So, in Demon's Souls, every single armor set is completely different between male and female, which is actually kind of cool because it just adds some replay value. And not only that, there's some equipment that it only is male and female specific, but like the knight set just looks completely different, etc., etc. And then in Dark Souls 1, most of the armor sets look pretty much the same, but there's a few armor sets that are not there are a few armor sets that are different between gender, right? And for some reason, the black leather set here is always different between male and female. Every single game. I have no idea why that is. but female fluted. It's I haven't seen it in a while. The helmet is bad. I do remember that. The rest of it wasn't that bad off memory. It certainly wasn't as good as the male version though, because the male version was just like the just classical medieval knight, right? Which that's awesome. But yeah, I remember the female fluted helmet was quite bad. It's been so long since I played though, I kind of forget. I do remember, I'll never forget this. Female characters can wear the bracelet that increases your soul gain, which is quite substantial, and men do not have an equivalent to that, which is really fucked up. Yeah, silver bracelet. Yeah, that is so, like, unfair. Insane. I think the male characters get, like, the old king set or something like that, which I don't even remember what that does. I really wish there was an easier way to play regular Demon's Souls and not the remaster. Fucking sucks, man. Oh yeah, they get the Executioner set. Yeah, that set was pretty cool. I heard they changed it like completely in the remaster, because of fucking course they did. And a few of these.
Ashen 1.
This set right here actually looks the closest to the fluted set we've ever gotten, really. I'm not really sure why they don't just add the damn thing in again, because it's a real life armor set, so it's not like there's a copyright issue. So like Sony doesn't own the rights to just medieval armor, and they kind of tease it, right? A lot of the games kind of tease armor that's similar to the male fluted set, but then they just don't do it. Fuck it, if I was them, I would do the male and the female one, but then let them each wear the other if they want. Like, just fuck it.
Wasn't he?
Okay, so we should make this plus 10, even though we don't have a lot of slabs. We are doing the faith shtick. Okay, maybe we don't slab that this second. Oh yeah, our blessed stuff heals for more if you upgrade it. On PvP characters, actually pretty common that you do slab those just for a little bit extra oomph. All I wanted from a Demon's Souls remake is like just clean up the graphics and maybe clean up the animations a bit, because I will say the animations in Demon's Souls are kind of floaty. But, yeah, they didn't... it really sucks, man. Like, there's so much just... Like, in the interviews about the game and stuff, there's so much disrespect thrown to the original Demon's Souls. So messed up. Yeah, these pants look a little silly. I'm just saying. They're not designed to be seen, though, because, like, the robe covers them. Like, pants aren't long enough, man. Yeah, I've got my, I still have a PS3 as well, actually. And I do have Demon's Souls. I should check if I can hook it up, and play it. But I want to play it at, like, 60 frames per second and all that shit. And just give me a PC port, like, fuck. Modders will fix most of the problems. Oh, you have to strip it? Like, so the port is there, but, like, it's not accessible? What the fuck? Yeah, I've streamed my 360. I've never tried to stream a PS3 before. Oh, it's encrypted. Holy fuck. God, I hate Sony, dude. Jesus Christ. Sony and Nintendo. The worst. What's the skull ring do again? easier to be detected by enemies. Actually, that can be good if you want to like draw a certain enemy out. Oh yeah, I remember that. I actually did do that at some point. I did get a splitter to do something like that. I don't remember what I did it for, but yeah, I do have a memory of that now. Bunch of nonsense. Alright, I wonder how good our weapon buff is. I kind of want to check. Only 696. It was higher than that earlier, though. What did I change? I mean, don't get me wrong, that's still good, but we made it to 800 AR before. We did have this, but one moment. We can use the Scorpion Ring. Or Clutch Ring in this game. I have a game I really liked on 360, and now it's locked on the console forever, just like Ark's games. Yep, feels bad. Lodging in the Forsaken Kingdom. I've heard that name before. What kind of game is it? I'm not sure it aged that well. It depends. Some old games have aged amazingly and are better than modern games. 813 AR. I would be so curious to see how much damage this does to Twin Prince, or Demon Prince there, opposed to what we were getting from the sword. Holy fuck, that's a lot of AR. It does make me sad that this, Dude, Dragon Slayer Axe really is something special, because there are other weapons that can get comparably high AR without needing a lot of stats and strength or dex. The thing that makes this just so outrageous is the fact that it is pretty much the best like that, even though other ones are very comparable. But then it's buffable, right? Most weapons that get high stats without needing you to invest dex or strength, you know, they get it through being like an infusion, like lightning or something. Or they're a special weapon type that can't be buffed anyway. Where this thing is just like, nope, raw, and I'm totally buffable, and it's just crazy fucking strong.
Ashen, then I am of thou hast given me. Very well. Then
Okay, let's get that faith to at least 40. Oh, that's not really a particular breakpoint, I see, but 39 is actually the bigger breakpoint. I know 40 is a bit of one, though. Alright, 85, that's fine.
mayst thou thy peace discover.
Let's see what kind of damage we can get out of our lightning stuff here. This one does do more damage, but this one's kind of more practical for what we're doing. The hack and slash. The giant companion for combat and puzzles. That sounds interesting. There are a lot of old games that don't have PC ports, and it's just such a shame. I mean, just such a shame. I can think of just so many old games that I love. And some of them I've gone back and played, and they hold up just fine. And I'm like, God damn, I wish I had a more convenient way to play this. And you clean up the resolution and stuff. It'd be great. The real gems I can think of off the top of my head that I really like are, Metal Arms, Glitchiness the System. Big fan of that. Mech Commander. Those games are great. Lords of Magic. That's a good one. I'm sure there's some other like old school Xbox and GameCube stuff too. Alright, what do I need to do? I need to find the Purging Monument, which I should have done when I had killed all of those enemies. Why did I not think of that? Because now they're all back. I got ahead of myself. I just lost half of my HP just like that. Not a fan.
One met the dark with learning, but in the end learned his knowledge was wanting. The world.
Yeah, and some games just don't work on emulators properly. They just don't. Especially old PC games, they can really struggle with that kind of shit. You have to like emulate an old OS and stuff, and oh my god.
And
I'll say this, thankfully GameCube stuff emulates quite well. Oh man, here's a old ass game that I would kill to have on PC proper though, Gladius. It's kind of like Fire Emblem meets Paper Mario. And it's basically like Fire Emblem like units, kind of like top-down turn-based stuff. But when you attack and everything, you go into like a Mario Party mini game. And some of the mini games got really fun as the game went on. I really liked that game. Holy fuck, I like that game. And the theme of it was like Roman gladiators and stuff. Like, man, I enjoyed the shit out of that game. And it had co-op, which was really cool. Yeah, I've heard Shadow Towers, one of those like old school ones though that people like. I wonder if you can parry that. Oh, hi there. Ooh. Okay, if we could stop dropping guys out of the sky. And attacking through walls. Huh. Okay, well he is parryable. I'm not really sure why those parries didn't work. Hard to tell if it was too soon, too late, and whatnot. Ringed Knighthood. Oh my god, that's right. There is one with guns in it. I've seen like a good bit of a playthrough of that. It's like ancient world, but actually there's guns. The whole thing. What's really funny is there's a lot of fundamental stuff in Souls today, and it carries all the way up into Elden Ring. That is from those old-ass games of theirs. Waiting for my first to go down. Try our miracles out a bit here. Man, it's rough out here. Will you guys stop doing that? You'd absolutely die that way. It'd be so ridiculous. Man, I wished I had done this when all those dudes were dead. Jeez. That's a face. Who done it? How the fuck? This angle. I like how there's no way I could shoot him with my miracle, but he can just shoot me no problem. Let's try a crossbow. I don't know, this angle is pretty messed up. Ooh. Having the cannon, dark cannon, would be really nice right now. Oh, you don't like it so much now that you're getting shot in the face, huh? You see, before when I was patient, it wasn't a big deal fighting these guys one-on-one, but see, now I'm not being patient. Holy fuck, how is that not the special execute? Well, I've done it now. You know, this could be going better. There are times where emulators improve things, and it's better than PC ports and stuff. What? $191 to $242. Yeah, you really don't want to be miracle slinging without that thing. What about the damage on the crossbow? Which is not plus 10, but, oh no. This is not balanced. Why does this, why? Why even use a miracle? That's a plus 10 talisman versus a plus 9 crossbow, and the crossbow is so much better. And you can hit the weak spot like it's nothing. Bro, and this takes no stat investment. So what I'm getting out of this is I should be using the Dragon Slayer axe and a crossbow. And then you could just pump your points into literally anything that you wanted. Faith does give you the Sacred Oath, though. There is that. But holy fuck. That put the miracle to shame. And it doesn't require the ring. Dude's having a little baby rage tantrum. So, I like how the first time I played through this, I didn't aggro two of these together ever. Because I was like nice and smart and patient and everything. But, oh boy, are we not doing that now. Look, it's tactical, chat. I just clicked the Night Rain button to run. So, chat, speaking of Night Rain, I have noticed that it is probably the most divisive FromSoft game they have ever made. The amount of people that are behaving in like a cult-like manner on both sides of it is fucking insane. People are just like offended by its existence. I'm over here just like, man, these Night Lords are a lot of fun. One more. No. No! I don't even know if this is the right direction to go for the Purging Monument. Man, it was crazy how long it took for the achievement percent to start actually climbing. Like, oh my god, it started off so slow. It's probably the slowest I've ever seen. Like, people were stuck on the first boss for so long. Yeah, from what I can tell, it's quite positively received by normies who don't talk a lot on the internet, you know, like sane people. But the online discourse is kinda yikes. That R2 might actually be worth using if I have Leo Ring on, because it's piercing damage. Test that. It's funny because back in the day, FromSoft made multiplayer-focused games all the time. Yeah, really, Armored Core in a lot of ways was multiplayer-focused. But now it's a sin. Yeah, dude, I can't stand that. I know exactly what you mean. Ridiculous, dude. And FromSoft, like, you know, I like them now, but I actually liked them more back in the day because they were so much more, like, nimble and experimental. They were so, like, if you look at their roster of games, it's insane, right? Like, Lost Kingdoms is such a unique game, right? And it's awesome. Like, just, and it's crazy because people, I think, want a game like that, like Yu-Gi-Oh fans and shit. And it's not something that really ever gets made. And they did it. Way back then, they did it and really actualized it. And then you got Armored Core, right? And then you've got Kingsfield. Like, these games are, and like the on-rail shooter and all that. This shit's crazy. Hey, why am I not testing Leo Ring out here? A little slow on the draw there. Like, I was so happy when they announced these more experimental games. That's so great. I don't want Dark Souls 30, right? Like, holy fuck. Like, yeah, every once in a while I want them to put out a classical Soul style game. Just like every once in a while I want them to put out an Armored Core game, right? Like, sure. But I don't want that to be every fucking release that they do. Yeah, I would like them to focus on multiplayer again because the multiplayer of Souls games are so unique, but the networking and system side of it is kind of atrocious. Oh yeah, Chrome Hounds. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Lightning Gem. Nice. All right, where's our guy? How did I lose track of a ginormous ass dude? Seeing like this one blind spot, like I think he is. Actually, that might be just a regular. Yeah, it's one of these guys. What happened to the big boy? Come on. Fuck. He did so much damage to me. I'm almost dead from Cursed. Oh, it's because I was standing near one of those corpse guys and I didn't even notice. Can you imagine if I died like that? Okay, I think I just killed all that and it wasn't necessary. I think it's actually over here. Fuck. It's gonna be annoying because they're gonna be alternating. Yeah, these guys should be in night range. Bullshit. Oh, come on. There we go. That was such a shit piece of loot for what I just went through. The reason their netcode is ass is because they're just copy-pasting Demon Souls specifically. That's the whole problem. Because Armored Core's netcode isn't ass. That's the thing. Armored Core's is fine. But yeah, because like Demon Souls is such a unique project and was kind of scuffed, and then they ended up making it the basis of their most popular IP. They've just been copy-pasting it forever. Like, fucking Elden Ring still uses the basic netcode of Demon Souls, which is just mind-blowing. Oh, no. Okay, I have Cat Ring on, at least. Well, that was the worst. And it just gives Twinkling Titanite. What a meme. Like, give me a slab, dude. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Oh. I want this parry, but this guy's swing timings are super bizarre. Also, his damage output. Mmm. He just hit the guy. I'm taking so much damage trying to parry this guy. What the hell was that? Like the lock-on like moved like he fell through the world, and all of a sudden... Well, no parry for me. I know, yeah, Japan's small country, so that kind of netcode wasn't as big of a problem. I dare say that was, like, fairly telegraphed. Very anime. Ah, this guy. Sweet vengeance. Oh, good item right there.
Oh, sorry. I know it doesn't concern
I don't know
you.
why I just skipped all that.
Seeing you all good and well, I just sort of spilled my guts to you. Just forget it all. Like a good hollow would. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, I know the Purging Monument's around here somewhere. Getting pretty beat up, though. What am I missing here? Huh. There's the one side area where Alva invaded, but the Ring of Night will have respawned. Also, there's that one big guy we never killed, and we somehow lost track of him. I could hear him moving earlier. I don't know how we lost track of such a large enemy. Maybe he got stuck somewhere odd or something, I don't know. I don't think it's over here, I really don't. There's the loot right there. Alright, one more Ring of Night. How bad can it be? Oh man, he saw me buff and he's just not having it. Woo! Okay, this tree making a few problems. Dude, I wanted that parry so bad. Oh, this is a dead end. Who the fuck put that nook there? Cheesed! I don't think it's over here. Running out of places to look, though. I don't remember it being this complicated. I actually remember it being quite easy to find. Gotta be here or the ladder, I think. I looked around pretty thoroughly and I didn't see shit I could do this way. What a pain. No, this is just a complete dead end. Oh, this is such a waste of time. I really dislike this kind of exploration. 'Cause it's just not engaging at all. Just running around until you find some obtuse ass like doorway or some shit. Do not remember this being so annoying. Actually, I do remember it being this annoying in my first playthrough. Then once I figured it out, it wasn't annoying anymore. But, nowhere to go. I've gone everywhere. seriously, I don't see anywhere else I can go. I mean, there's over there, but I know that's not it. Like every fucking hallway is a dead end. Like none of them go anywhere. Man, where have you been? We've ran up and down this thing so many times. I cannot even imagine what this guy's AI's been doing. I tell you, I do realize like how bad some of the Elden Ring design is, because like this enemy, you can walk up to him, and yeah, he might swing, and if you like walk up and swing, you might hit trade and stuff, so you can't just like be stupid. But it's like, it's not like the end of the world just being near this guy. In Elden Ring, if you walk up to somebody and you're like trying to see if they attack, right, and deal, then counter the attack instead of like walk up and swinging, because that walk up swing doesn't work a lot of the time on tough enemies. But in Elden Ring, it's like you can't even walk up to them and wait for them to attack, because they'll have some bullshit one-frame startup attack that comes out that you're not going to be able to react to. It's just like complete nonsense. Where like, there's a few enemies like that in Dark Souls 3, but not much. Wait, do you have to do the White Branch puzzle? I thought that was something else entirely. Fuck, that's like some Shadow of the Erdtree nonsense. You're probably right though, because at this point I can't think of anywhere else to even look here. I think you can do it right here. Get rid of all these fuckers. I know they're leaving, okay. I've only got 5, that's not great. Oh, first try. I think you can run, but I'm not gonna risk it. This is really cool though to see the like just classic Dark Souls 1 sprite humanity in like this form you haven't seen in a while. Little fragment of the Dark Soul. I want to say you have to go around the other side. Like way farther in. Yeah, I remember you just go somewhere and the ladder comes down, but I guess I thought it was that part though. If it's not there, then I don't fucking remember where it is. Ah, fuck, no, running breaks it. That's stupid. I guess you have to do that whole run around. And that part of the level is like too convoluted and dense, really. Iframes, yeah. Mashing that shit. I'd fight them, but I only got 4 flasks left here. So I guess you have to open the door first to be able to get access to the part that you need. Yeah, my memory is so gerbled. I was thinking like you had to get the ladder to come down to go around, then to open the door, but no, it's not how it is. Hopefully I get lucky again. Easy. Yeah, if you use this on the inside, you won't turn into a humanity sprite. It's not an option. Like the options are based on the environment you're in, and you got to be in the swamp part. This puzzle is a lot more doable if you PvP a lot in this area and you play Dark Souls 1. Because funnily enough, I kind of figured this out organically because I don't even remember why, but I did see that one of the camouflages was humanity. I think just doing PvP bullshit. And then when I saw the message, show your humanity, I know what that means from Dark Souls 1. So I was like, huh, I wonder if that's it. Kind of cool that the tail is animated like that. Mr. Moloch, yep. Alright, pretty much through this, so I think you might have to fight a Ring at Night. Getting kind of low on healing, because we fought, like, the whole goddamn level twice. I should have looked around more carefully there. Oh. Boy, I'm glad I'm not low level right now. He had to get one off. I hear that bullshit. Dude, if this guy killed us, that would suck. Because you have to go back to patches and all the enemies by patches would come back. Think you go here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Oh, okay, you can go back if you need to. This really is a convoluted ass puzzle. So, Beastly, what's your opinion on this? Do you think, like, FromSoft's obtuse, like, NPC quest progression, because, like, this blocks your quest progression if you can't do this part, right? And this is very obtuse. And a lot of the games are like that. And, like, an NPC will disappear, then just appear somewhere, like, how would you know where the hell they are? Especially in Elden Ring. So do you think that, like, obtuse-ass design is just like a callback to the old school stuff and they just kind of still have that in their blood? Or do you think it's just like them not getting with the times and not even like intending for, they're just trying to make like an organic quest that makes sense through the lore and it just happens to make it incredibly obtuse? Or both. I think it could be a bit of both, honestly. I could see it being a bit 50-50. I do think they need to work on it. I think it's okay for things to be a bit more old school, but holy fuck, some of their stuff is dumb. Yeah, I've seen that game. I know it definitely has that kind of design too. Why do I still hear an enemy? I've killed so many. Yeah, like, some of the NPCs that just disappear and reappear, it's just like, how would you have any idea where they are?
Like a good hollow would. Yeah. Are you certain of that? No. Sorry, I know you'd never lie to me. Thank you. Thank you kindly. I'll speed right on over. It won't be long now before I know everything. Who I was, what I lived for, and what my name was. And I'll have you to thank for it all.
You had to read people's notes to figure out what the hell to do. Cryptic arcade game in Japan where people would write. Oh yeah, I have seen that shit. I have seen that shit. I didn't realize FromSoft made that. Yeah, Ronnie's Quest is really easy. It like plays itself and like they even mark your map. Even talking to the doll 3 times is not a big deal though, because you pick it up, it seems important. and then you see talk to the doll on the as an option, right? And it's like if it doesn't do anything, then it's like, well, that wouldn't make any sense. So it's kind of just like obvious to do it again. That is probably the hardest part, though. Oh, they didn't make it, but they said it was their inspiration. Oh yeah, boy, do I believe that.
Ah, thank you. Most sincerely, I swear upon my birth name that I am your friend. No matter what might come out, no matter what I was, if you would do me the honor, allow me to be a true friend. Always.
He's not lying.
It won't be long now before I know
You relog. I think you get some loot here. Yeah, the doll part in Ronnie's quest, though, is the only thing where you might, like a normal player might mess it up. Right? Where they see the ... and they're like, oh, okay, I guess you just have to talk to it again later in the game or something, and then you never have the option to, so... But, I mean, I figured it out my first time. My first playthrough, I was capable of doing the Ronnie ending if I wanted to. I just didn't. I thought Lap's armor was supposed to be here, but I guess it's a bit later. I guess you have to do the next part. I kind of forget what ending I did in my first playthrough. I think I did the Dusk one, because I don't think I had access to gold masks. I don't think I did it all right. Yeah, I think I just did the Dusk one. And then after that, I did the gold mask, and then Frenzy Flame. I've technically never done Ronnie's ending. I have the achievement, but what I did was, I started the ending, and it gives you the achievement, and then I Alt F4'd or reloaded. I think I just reloaded the save. You know, I had that because I was on PC, so I had the save backed up. And you can do that on PS5 as well, actually. And then I just did a different ending. Feels good. I was quite pleased with myself on that one. Honestly, the Shadowkeep emote was not that hard in my first playthrough because they give you a giant ass hint on the floor in that room, and like the statue and everything like that. That one was actually, I think, kind of easy. Cause like there's a developer note on the ground. Yeah, I can't remember if I had to look up the statue bit or not. I think I did. I'm not sure. It's been a while. That is the hardest part of the Gold Mask quest, though, for sure. Okay, we're gonna go do all the cool stuff in the swamp, but let's get the Patches quest. Which I still had my flame thing. No idea how you're supposed to deal with that. I do this on low level. I just wear the flame ring and the shield ring, and it works out. Good old rubbish. Oh yeah, we have like a mini boss fight with Midir here. Will you fuck off? Little shit.
Oh, finally, you've come. Now I know exactly who I was. And for that, I've a little thanks to be giving. Go this way and peep past the broken staircase. Some awfully fine treasures just sitting there all alone. It'll change your life. I've much to thank you for. Go this way and peep past the broken staircase. Some awfully fine treasures just sitting there all alone. What? Don't you believe me?
I love this part so much because he is absolutely helping you, because if you don't jump down in this spot, you'll just be running around in a circle like forever in this area. Look at this guy. Like he is showing you the way in a bro kind of way. Oh, treasure!
Every age, it seems, is tainted by the greed of men. Rubbish to one such as I, devoid of all worldly wants. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way we are. I'll stick you in my prayers. A fine dark soul to you.
I love him, dude. It was just so crazy seeing such an evolution to his character, with him just kind of being a meme the whole time, but it was so great. And he's like the, you can summon him too. And I love how he's called Patches the Unbreakable instead of Patches the Hyena. It's so cool, dude. It's just such a great contrast because you see all these other characters that didn't quite make it, and like Alva, you know, failing to reunite with Zuli and all that. But Patches, though, he got it. Oh god, this Mimic has health. I'm pretty sure I'm out of Lloyd's talismans and I forgot to buy more, so here we are. Oh, evil ring +3. That's pretty significant. When you're fighting those like mobs of enemies, quite a bit of health. Now, we should be getting invaded here in a minute. This is how you get out of here, though. I'll grab the bonfire, then come back. Although, we have to fight Midir. Oh yeah, they don't work that way in this game. Oh, Elden Brain. So all humans have a piece, if they're not like insane and gone hollow, but because Gwyn's not really the one that makes you human, right? Like we were talking about the other day, it's more if he linked humanity to the fire. Like the original state of people is hollow, right? But the furtive pygmy split up the dark soul and gave a bit of it to every fucking human and pygmy apparently too. And that's like your air quotes soul, right? We all of humans in this game have a bit of the dark soul, right? And it's just spread out amongst all of them. So that's why one individual is like crazy Omega strong, but should have gone the other way. There he is. And those like humanity sprites, those are pieces of the Dark Soul. And that is why Affinity, and I forget what it's called in Dark Souls 1, but the like homing dark magic attack like homes in on people is because it's bits of the Dark Soul trying to reunite with other bits of the Dark Soul. Like different bits of humanity like are drawn to each other. And that's why it's like a homing attack. It is funny though, with all these games, we still know so little about the furtive pygmy. Oh my fucking god, and I can't quit because I'm invaded. I could have quit out, but because I was invaded, it's blocked. I even did the input fast enough. It like extra pushed my roll there, made it go like farther when it hit the edge. It does that sometimes. Well, that's annoying. Now, this is risky because my souls are out there, but let's see if we can just go grab Lap's armor real quick. Can't be that bad. I actually think we may have died to gravity more than any other single source. Like, we died to Twin Princes twice. We've died to a few bosses once. But, we died to this, the blue Lothric Knight. Oh my god, I almost died, right? That was like one tick away, and it killed me, and there go my souls. That's fucking stupid. That is so cheap, dude. Like, you can't do anything about that. You just have to... And the only way to counter that would just be waiting. We'd just be standing around doing nothing. Dude, that was so many souls, too. What a joke. That is such a lame way to lose your souls. Like, you don't even lose health. It's just, oh, the status bar built up from enemies you can't even interact with right now. So fucking... I've never liked those kind of mechanics in any of the Souls games. Like Death, Blight, Curse, and all of it is dumb as fuck. I think it's extra dumb here because it's just so uninteractive. Like, you don't do anything. And this is not even the right way. Like, you have like the Aldridge loyal dudes, the two trash mobs, like the big spider ugly fucks, and they apply a lot of curse when they hit you, and they have a pretty, you know, evolved moveset, I suppose, right? They're like a real mini boss enemy, but like you don't really get to interact with their moveset like you normally would, because if they hit you 3 times in like a even somewhat close succession, you just die to curse. So you end up having to be like extra careful and like wait forever for it to wear off and shit. It's just lame. Like, it's not fun. Like, you just want to fight the enemy. Holy fuck, though. I seriously just lost so many souls. Why is it still not there? The trigger must be getting to like the next bonfire or something. That's so lame. That means I just wasted all of that time and my souls for absolutely nothing. And I have to run all the way back. Pretty rare I ever lose my souls in these games too. It's pretty easy to prevent losing your souls, honestly. It's a pretty terrible mechanic in my opinion. I don't think it's ever worked very well. Because all it does is make it so players that are not struggling, that are good at these games, get ahead and get more ahead. And then if you're having a hard time, you get behind and more behind. It's very counter productive. It's hard to because they're trying to give death like an extra weight so you don't want to die. And like, you know, you care. But it's difficult to have a reason for the player to care about dying without it being bullshit. Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2 made it where when you died, you lost maximum HP. When you died, it made dying again even easier, which that was a pretty odd approach. I get the point, but you know, same thing. You want people to you want the player to like really want to not die, right? That's the goal. I'm not going the right way. I'm getting real sick of this area. This is my least favorite part of Ringed City. I like pretty much all of it but this part because it's just too it's just like this too dense, like this, and everything looks the same. All the hallways, unless like staircase and stuff, all look exactly the same, and they all like loop on each other and stuff. So it's just really fucking confusing and just boring because it's just the same fucking thing over and over. The rest of Ringed City I like though. Just like that segment, there's just so many reasons to go back there over and over and over, and it's just super annoying. It just feels like the Undead Settlement. You're just spending way too much time in one spot doing nothing. Yeah, honestly, I'm way more into linear games. I think like Dark Souls 1 does the best job of being a non-linear game, right? Like Dark Souls 1 does great at that, but I don't really enjoy exploration in games because once you play enough of them, that you kind of peek behind the curtain, you kind of just realize a lot of it's just an excuse to waste your time, and it all kind of just a lot of it exploration in games is ultimately meaningless. It's like, oh man, the main boss is right, so you go left first, and I just, who fucking cares? I do think Dark Souls 1 does it the most though, because there's like meaningful reasons to go in different ways, and it's actually like interesting progressing the levels, and like why you might go to the catacombs first or go to the Burg first. Like that shit's pretty cool. Also, if you got a degree of like, here's an example I think of good exploration is the decision in Stormvale Castle to either storm the castle or take the side passage, right? That's good. I mean, when FromSoft puts their mind to it, I think they actually do some of the best exploration. Like the different ways you, like the Halig tree, the first section of it, where well, not the first section, 'cause that'd be the roots, but when you're in like the castle part, and you got those like ballistas set up with the tree avatar and all the Lindell Knight kind of guys and stuff. You can walk in the front way and it's hard as fuck and you're gonna get blasted, but there's a bunch of ramparts you can explore to try to like sneak up on them and shit like that. That's all quite interesting. But like a lot of the exploration and even the Souls games is literally just busy work. It's like, why is this here? Lost, what's all that? The giant ass fucking URL. Also, we beat that invader so easily. He's actually really tough when you're low level. All right, I think I know what it is. Now you say it's your favorite image. Oh my god, yes. So much this. I cannot. I agree with this so much. Like, this is exactly how I feel about exploration and open world and stuff. And like, it's possible to make it, you know, or more meaningful. Like something really different happens if you decide to go left instead of right and that kind of stuff. But generally, that is what it is, and I cannot stand it. Like that whole staircase side hallway section is just like, it's so convoluted, and you're just doing this like going down this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's just filler. Like it's so unnecessary. I think I've found everything. Maybe this is lapse armor. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking of about going back to where he was earlier. I don't know. Oh yeah, and you get the arena right there. You normally would unlock the arena from doing the first DLC, but it's kind of nice because maybe you didn't buy the first DLC or you don't want to do it, and that's an alternate way to unlock the arena. I honestly even though I think 1v1ing in Dark Souls 3 is trash, it's the worst in the series. I still enjoyed the arena a lot in Dark Souls 3 when it first came out, because I just picked a build that was like the least dumb, like where you could be aggressive and you didn't have to play passive souls. Like I did twin spears and shit like that, and because it was like new and a lot of people were like normies were playing because of the DLC, it wasn't all just like try hard passive bullshit, and I did enjoy it. Like it was fun ranking up and getting the gold medal and all that crap, and like, I had fun, and the team fights were fun too. The team fights were amazing in the Elden Ring arena, but just I don't know why. I think it's because you can't queue for everything. I think FromSoft has fucked this up. They need to allow you to queue for multiple game types at once. Because what always happens is people think 1v1 is going to be the most popular, and so they only queue for that one over time, and then the team modes just die. And it sucks. Because the team modes are just way better, in my opinion, because the 1v1 mechanics just aren't that good in these games. But adding in the teamwork aspect actually is super interesting. I normally, what I do for like my arena builds is I'll use armor that I like, but I'll kind of adjust it and stuff to at least be meta-ish, right? I'm not going to use the meta armor, but like, you know, I'll look at, you know, I like Drake Blood and Thorns and all that stuff, so I'll make a combination of that that's like pretty optimal, as like optimal as it can be, but you know, obviously it still looks good because I'm pulling from armor sets that I like. So I'll try to, you know, color coordinate to a degree and that kind of stuff, you know, try to make sure it looks good. But I'm still trying to pick amongst the armor sets that I like a setup that will be good. Especially in arena, right? When invading, sometimes I'll just go pure RP mode, if you will. But yeah, in an arena, I get a little bit more try hard. I agree though, fashion's important, PvP or otherwise. I think games fuck this up a lot. If I like the character I'm playing, or the fashion, or whatever it is, I'm more likely to want to come back and play. Like, if I look like a clown, like in like classic World of Warcraft or something, that really demotivates me from wanting to play. Like, I want to be like, yeah, this character looks awesome. Like all that cool armor you can get in Vandictus, right? That makes me like, oh yeah, I want to use that. Yeah, that's reasonable. I remember not particularly liking this little mini fight. I used to know a really good strategy on how to do this part, like kind of just like a system to follow. Boy, do I not remember any of that now. But yeah, the actual fight with Midir is awesome. This one is absolutely not. This is total garbage. It's not going to end well. That's so Elden Ring. That is so fucking Elden Ring. Zero travel time there. It's so garbage, dude. And like, it's fine to have him shoot the laser that way, but like having it just instantly go from there all across the entire thing all at once, that's just completely stupid. I don't mind if you sell cosmetics if it's a free-to-play game, and then there's plenty of cosmetics you can get normal. And normally it's like a conflict of interest, so that won't happen. But I have seen some games that will sell cosmetics and give you cosmetics that are obtainable, and it's a good balance. Actually, Vandictus was like that. I don't know if it is anymore because that game has changed so much. But back in the day, actually, I would say overwhelmingly the stuff you could obtain in game looked way better than the stuff you could buy. This is garbage. This is so fucking garbage. Most of this DLC is a banger, but this is absolute dog shit. But yeah, games where it's like, I mean, god damn, dude, it's so stupid. It's like there's no way you're gonna know which one he's doing. Like half the attacks, if you don't go over there, you're gonna get fucked, and then he does that. Where if you do go over there, you get fucked. Why is that even an input in this game, dude? But like, here's an example. Like, Grand Blue Relink, right? If they like right now, all this time later, we're like, hey, $10 for a bunch of new skins. That doesn't bother me, right? Because it's a single player game. They gave you plenty for free. And, you know, just like, that's like a new thing to support the game. That's good. I want that because I want games that I like to make money so they can make more stuff. Now, if Relink came out and just like right away before like anyone's even done anything, they're instantly selling a bunch of cosmetics and stuff. Okay, that is not the way to go. It's just gonna do the same. Oh no, okay, it's not the laser. No, it is the laser one. I literally just guessed, and then it hits you anyway. Like, just so stupid. But yeah, a lot of the arguments against cosmetics, I actually just crazy disagree with the more I think about it, because it's just basically like, I don't want this game to make money. Like, it's just stupid. Because like, if they don't do that, what do you think they're gonna sell? And like, people always want the games they like to be supported and get, you know, more content. Like, I would love it if Dark Souls 3 had gotten more DLC, right? I'd be happy. I want Night Rain to get updated all the time. And like, everyone's saying that right now. Everyone wants Night Rain to get supported. But it's like, how the fuck do you expect them to do that if they don't have a way to monetize the damn thing? And like, the most reasonable way to... These attacks are not even like halfway reasonable. Because it's basically like, you need to already know... Because this is just a bunch of bullshit like area denial. You need to have just memorized, okay, this attack, I need to go to the rock. This attack, I need to stay there. This attack... There's no way to know any of that. Like, I already know if Night Rain decides to sell skins, people are going to be angry. And I'm like, that's dumb as fuck. Because if they don't sell skins, the game's not going to make any extra money, and they're not going to be able to update it. Because you're not going to get Katakawa and Sony and all of them to be like, oh yeah, you can just keep updating the game without making any profit. That's totally going to happen. So, Madeira's not dead. He just falls down there. If you skip this part and just like run past him, you can't actually do the boss fight. Like, you have to do that part to unlock him. God, that was lame. Thankfully, the real fight with him is not lame like that, so. I feel like Arknights. Yeah, Arknights sell skins, and that's fine. You know, they offer you a bunch of stuff for free. And Arknights is actually especially fine. Actually, I always say this. I think they're too fair. Because you can get every skin they've ever made in Arknights for free. And most people aren't going to want every skin they ever made. So, if you only buy the skins that you really like, you can do it for free, like, easy. Like, I'm a pure free-to-play in Arknights. I don't even log in every day. I don't even come close to logging in every day. And I have loads of free-to-play roles saved up, like, no problem. And I'm able to buy... I even buy skins I don't even want because chat wants me to buy them. Like, you know, chat will get me to buy, you know, a skin for the character they like. So if we use them in the roguelike, you know, they can pick that skin or whatever. Or because it's Cruz and they just hate me. But yeah, I bought several skins I don't give a fuck about, and all the ones that I actually do give a fuck about. As a pure free-to-play, and it's like, no problem. I completely forget how to do that part. That's the Chloranthy Ring plus 3, though, which I know is the only version of the Chloranthy Ring that is good. Okay, that is the church bullshit fight. I might just be in there, like right there, where you fight, how you get to Madeira. It's kind of your hint to, because you can't easily get that loot by conventional means, so it's letting you know there is something, like, hidden to find. That is absolutely the point of that loot. My issue is more stuff like Assassin's Creed coming out with a $70 game with cosmetic shop where everything is in the shop. Looks way better than anything in the game. And yeah, those launch like that. Yeah, that's different. I don't really have a like experience with that stuff because I almost never play mainstream AAA games because I think they're garbage. But yeah, that I get where it's just like this game just comes out already super expensive and it's already got a bunch of cosmetics. And a lot of times there's not even, you know, any in-game cosmetics. Like, yeah, that's dumb. But if it's a free-to-play game, I want them to sell cosmetics, for God's sakes. One of these days, I'll try that Stellar Blade game, and don't spoil it, but I'm kind of curious because I know that game is, like, hyped because of all the costumes and shit. I'm curious if all of them are in-game means, or there's a bunch of DLC, or if it's both and whatnot. I'm kind of curious how those devs decided to handle all that, but yeah, don't tell me. We'll, I'm curious about that game if it's like good or not, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, that game's only popular because girl hot, and then other people are like, oh no, the game's great. But like, I'm curious if I play it, if I'm like, yeah, this is shallow as fuck, or if the gameplay is good and blah 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 blah. I'm just super curious how all of that's gonna be handled, but I'm not curious enough to buy it at full price. Okay, that's Madeira. It is a genre I really like, though. It's just, I don't know, I'm not, like, mad at Stellar Blade, but it doesn't really, like, grab me. Like, the whole, aesthetic and stuff. So, I'm not like, oh my god, I have to play that right now. I'll just play it, like, whenever the fuck it's cheap. I kind of want to try PC, because I've heard, this is, like, the most I've heard about it recently, because it was being talked about. So, games I'm interested in, I try not to hear about. I don't want to be spoiled on things. But it was talked about a lot in the Vandictus community because people were complaining that Vandictus runs like ass, which, you know, it does. Even on good systems, like the systems are pushed a lot harder than they should be. And lots of people brought up that the PC version of Stellar Blade runs like a dream and is incredibly well optimized. And it looks as good, and or if not, probably better than Vandictus does, right? It's a very, you know, graphically impressive game. And people are saying it just runs incredibly well. And I kind of want to put that to the test. Like, does it run incredibly well? Does it run better than Vandictus? I imagine it does. I can't imagine that many people were lying, because a lot of people were saying it's kind of ridiculous that Vandictus runs this badly when Stellar Blade, like just the demo, for God's sakes, was running super well. But yeah, we'll see. PlayStation 5 does have sales from time to time, so like it could go on sale on PS5. But yeah, buying it cheap is definitely an attractive option. I always like buying games cheap, because then, like, if I hate them, I don't feel bad. I don't have, like, buyer's remorse. And then if they're good, it's like, oh, what a steal. Damn. Should've rolled the other way. Because, like, I bought Dragon's Dogma 2 at full price, and I will regret that to the fucking grave, dude. And, like, I couldn't refund it because I streamed it for more than, like, 3 hours, which is, like, goes beyond the limit of what you can refund. And oh my god, I hate it, dude. The game was such a disappointment. It was such a bad product. None of the flaws from the first game were fixed, and a lot of new flaws were there. Like, it's, oh my god, it doesn't have the Bitter Isle and all that. Like, Dragon's Dogma 1 is so much better than Dragon's Dogma 2, and it is so much cheaper. Like, I spent $70 on that, and I can never get that shit back. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do that. I only really buy games at like big boy price if it's like FromSoft or if it's something that's really been looking good in trailers and stuff. But like if Vandictus comes out and, you know, it's 60, 70 bucks, I'll probably buy it, because even though it's unoptimized right now, as long as that gets better, I really like the game. Like, I love the alpha for Vandictus. Like, the gameplay is very, very fun. The controls are not great, but the game itself I like love to death, and I have way more fun in the PvE in Vandictus than I do Elden Ring. I agree, if like devs are putting things other than the game itself at the forefront, that's not good for design. I think it's look, I am no fan of all the like forced bullshit diversity nonsense. Like, I have no issue with, you know, characters that are diverse if it's there, you know, naturally, or if it's like, you know, if you have you know, like a game set in Egypt and all the characters are Egyptian, that's fine, right? No, literally no problem. But I will say, I think people kind of exaggerate this. I think the bigger issue that we have in the industry right now is really so you have a bunch of like up and coming Zoomers and millennials that are already there and stuff that just have like brain rot, and they happen to be woke, right? The woke stuff isn't what's making the game bad. It's not. It accompanies the problems, but they're just bad developers. They're bad at writing. They're bad at understanding game systems. They're bad at understanding what players want. The woke stuff doesn't make the game bad. It doesn't make it good either, mind you, but like it's kind of a coincidence, right? Those people with their bad design could have prioritized a lot. Yeah, it's a good example. Baldur's Gate 3 is woke, right? It's not as woke as some of this other shit, and they're not as like offensive about it. It's more like the devs, you can tell, are woke, but they're not trying to like insult you if you're not woke, right? So it's not nearly as bad, but it's a really good game, right? It still has really good gameplay systems and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, they're less in your face about it. They're very accommodating of woke stuff, but they're not really like forcing the woke stuff down your throat, right? So like that's an example of it being done in a way that's not a problem, right? Where a lot of these other devs, they are shit game developers, and they are using the woke stuff as like a shield, right? And then so a lot of gamers are like, I think, misdiagnosing the problem and are being like, oh, if it's woke, it's bad, right? And again, I'm not like pro woke or anything. I'm just saying it's like it isn't really the problem. You know, make a good fucking video game. Now, I will say, I do think when you're when your focus is things like being woke and whatnot, and it can happen to other things. It doesn't have to be woke specifically. But when your focus is something that isn't going to be popular inherently, and that's more important to you than like the game design, of course your game's going to suck, right? Because like newsflash, if you're going out of your way to make like your characters ugly, to be like accepting of people in real life that are ugly and shit, like, of course that's not gonna do well. Like, what is wrong? Like, have you ever read anything in marketing ever, right? Like, yeah, you have a minority of people that like feel intimidated. Like, you'll have men occasionally that are intimidated by other men that go to the gym, and so they want the main character to be some scrawny bitch. Or you have someone, you know, that's ugly and they're feel attacked by attractive people. Right? Like, this shit exists, but that really isn't most people. Now, it might be more people than it used to be because our culture is fucked right now. But, yeah, that's why it's like, it's not successful to try to make your characters unappealing. Like, appealing characters are not going to make your game good, though. Right? Like, avoiding woke bullshit does not make your game good. There's lots of games that are not woke that are still trash. Right? They're just bad. But it's like having... It doesn't have to be attractive. Having appealing characters, having pleasant, or just designs that people like, that people think are intriguing or cool or hot or mysterious or whatever it is, right? Chad-like, all these, those are obviously going to be positive, right? And here's an example. When people don't have a lot to go off of yet when you're marketing a game, maybe you see it at a game show or E3 or Game Awards or whatever, the first thing you see being a snappy design that's memorable and pleasant, it's not like that's enough to make you like the game, but it gets you in the door, right? And that's why I'm interested about Stellar Blade, right? People, the character is eye-catching to a lot of people and memorable to a lot of people, right? So they keep an eye on the game because of that. But if the game comes out and it's dog shit, it's not gonna work, right? It's like Overwatch, right? Overwatch had these very memorable designs that grab people's attention quickly, and that gets them interested in the game, and then if the game is good, they stay, right? So I think people like oversell like how shallow people are. People really aren't that shallow, actually. It's more like, yeah, we like nice looking things, right? But then the thing also has to be good after the fact, right? And people, you have a lot of like jealous developers and shit that are like, will throw Stellar Blade under the bus or whatever, and they're just like, oh, people are just so fucking shallow, blah 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 blah. But that is not enough. That is absolutely not enough. Although I'll be interested if because I haven't played Stellar Blade and I haven't watched anyone play it. I'll be interested if I do play it and the game is garbage. Like if the gameplay really is garbage. I doubt it because I think that would have gotten out. I think I would have heard about it if that was the case. But I will be interested to see how that works out. So Nier Automata is there are other aspects though. Like sometimes people can put up with bad gameplay. I wouldn't say Nier Automata has bad gameplay. I would say it has kind of just acceptable gameplay. It's not really anything mind-blowing. But Nier Automata has a lot going for it that will keep you there beyond the visuals, right? It's got the music, it's got the story. I don't really connect with a lot of that stuff. Like I'm not really into Nier's Automata's story that much and like the characters and stuff, but a lot of people are. Right, so even though it's not my cup of tea, I get it, right? Even though the gameplay, I think Nier Automata's gameplay is kind of just okay. It's not enough for me. Like the gameplay over there is like, I'd rather go play Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry or something. But you know, it's got this crazy great soundtrack and this interesting world and all this stuff, and then people are really into the story and all that. And so even if you're not like super hooked by the gameplay, there's other things there to really pull you in. Yeah, I've heard Stellar Blade is pretty good gameplay-wise, but I'll see for myself whenever it goes on sale. I would probably try Stellar Blade sooner if I had a friend that I knew and trusted, like I really trusted their opinion, that was like, oh yeah, no, the gameplay's great, you'll like it a lot. But I don't want to go spend no fucking $60 and then have it be another Dragon's Dogma 2. This guy's voice is like amazing. Oh boy, this boss. Yeah, I guess I could play the demo, that's true. I pretty rarely play demos, especially because of sales. I'm like, because if I like it, then you don't, it's like, you know, I don't want to deal with all that. I'm not in a hurry. That's the thing. Only a few games am I like, man, I gotta play that. I played Plants vs. Zombies, what, 15 years after it came out, and I had just a god tier amazing experience, and I loved it. And that was fine. You know, that was fine. And like, here's like an example, right? I did not play Bloodborne until very recently, right? And all that time I avoided spoilers for it. I never looked up videos for it. I did listen to some of the music because I couldn't. I'm such a music nut. I couldn't help myself on that one. But you know, I avoided people that streamed it. When people start talking about it in a video, I would close the video. I went so long without Bloodborne spoilers, and after so long, I finally decided to play Bloodborne recently, and I regret the fuck out of it because it's 30 frames per second. I should have kept waiting. I should have kept fucking waiting because even though I liked a lot of what I saw of what I played, I ruined it. Right, I would have had so much better of an experience if I could have played it at 60 frames per second and all that bullshit. If they ever bring it to PC properly, right, I would have rather waited more time because there's so many other things I can do in my spare time. I can go touch grass, right? I do that real life stuff, right, and I have a good time. And there's other games that I like. I'm never sitting around like, oh, if only I had something to entertain me, right? I never have that problem. So I can wait. I can play Stellar Blade 5 years from now, 3 years from now, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? I played again Plants vs. Zombies way after the fact, and it was great. Dude, the first Dragon's Dogma is great. I will say the base game has some problems. Like, it gets kind of easier as you go, like too much so. The New Game Plus is shit. You know, it has some issues, but the base game is good, right? The base game is good. Just you know, flaws like the sprinting, taking stam outside of combat is just awful, like so fucking awful. There's a lot of like wonkery and shit. But then the DLC is so good. Oh my god, the fucking Bitter Island is one of the best pieces of content. Like, it's such a great experience, like in massive replay value, just so much fucking fun. And I love having this super hard dungeon that's like so big and like, but not like annoying to explore, and has so many bosses and so much cool shit. And it's like this cool thing, you build up your characters, you get all the hidden stuff, you set up your pawns exactly how you want them, you got your build how you want it, and now you have something to go seek your teeth into, and it's still gonna be hard, right? Love that. But then the second game had every single flaw the first game had. And every single flaw the first game had. They fixed nothing, and then it doesn't have great content like that, and it runs like garbage, and all, it just, oh my god, fuck that game. But yeah, love the first game. Hate the sequel because it's literally just the first game again, and in many ways worse. So like, fuck that nonsense. Yeah, I know there's some mods for it that help the balancing and stuff. Because yeah, that is a problem. Like you outscale the game kind of quickly. Okay, it is go time. Yeah, I'm way more into, I'm complete with Lost. I'm way more into indie games and like, you know, semi-big budget games, but not full-on AAA. I love that you can get patches here. I would summon him, but we'll do this legit here. But yeah, God, there's so many indie games I like. And you got Death Must Die, you know, still getting developed. I haven't checked on that game in a while. It might have more content now, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I should have waited to buff until I was in this part. If you have like a crazy one-shot build, it would be pretty funny to kill this guy before he's done talking. This guy's voice acting really is something, though. By the way, all these enemies that aren't the main boss are here to buy time for the networking to try to find a player. That is so bullshit. I get hit all that time when, like, he was not there in any capacity, and then, you know, while I'm in the backstab animation, then he spawns. And that was unavoidable damage. You know, you could speed up this cast animation game and it would not kill you. I forgot that had a projectile. This boss is so fucking ass. It's just a bunch of input reading, unfair bullshit. I remember it's way easier with big boy weapons, like just hyper armoring and staggering the shit out of them. Much easier that way. Like if you win the hit trade when he does this kind of bullshit, you're gonna have a much better time. I might even switch, honestly. This fight is just so fucking bullshit. Like that's just absurd. And it's so annoying because like if you try to play like this, it doesn't work. Like you can't use that katana that way. Like if you try to fight an actual PvP like that, you will get destroyed. It's really frustrating to me because anytime you can tell FromSoft is trying to make it an NPC fight, hard and not like maybe like a generic invader fight, all they do is cheap stuff, right? They can't make an AI that's actually good. They just have to completely rely on cheap bullshit. I remember Large Club had a really easy time with this. And like, these guys are just input reading the fuck out of you, dude. And I can't stand when FromSoft takes, like, weapons that are garbage, but then just makes them do 1,000,000 damage. Like, if, again, this weapon this guy's using is crap. It is so fucking crap. But it's like when you could never hit trade with a straight sword with that fucking dagger. That's just insane. But, like, they just overtune the fuck out of this guy so he can. I'm pretty sure last time I did this at low level, I used rings and stuff so I could equip a really strong two-hander, like big boy weapon and just kill them with that. I'm almost positive that's what I did. Like, there's literally nothing you can do. You just have to wait. So engaging. I really wish FromSoft would sit down in a room and like have someone like really critique this shit, because it's like this is undefensible, like the way they do the difficulty in fights like this. And unfortunately, like this principle is like what they did in Elden Ring, and it's like just. And I saw someone today like defending Elden Ring boss design. He's like, oh, but the trial and error is like such a fun part of the game, and like you can have trial and error without doing like literal cheating. That's the thing. It's like how Millennia doesn't follow the rules of like stance break like everyone else, and like the way Poise works there is all bullshit. It's like you don't need to do that. Like the NPCs have unlimited endurance and FP and all this crap. Because basically they're forcing you to have to respect his moveset to like the point of absurdity on like a weapon that you don't have to respect like that. Funnily enough, though, I know fights like this go over better with players that know nothing about PvP. Like, they don't really understand the mechanics of when two player characters are fighting each other. So but when, oh my god, when you actually know PvP, it's just so blatant, like, how the game is cheating. Now, curved swords are really good. Yeah, I know the painted dagger is a curved sword, but it doesn't work that way. Like, believe me, I am extremely knowledgeable of Dark Souls PvP. And like, although curved swords are really good, it does not, like, that one sucks because of the range. Because like in that situation, for example, it wasn't like the Painting Guardian was already in my face and then we're hit trading. That's not what was happening. And like, even though the Painting, you know, Guardian sword, you know, is a curved sword, which is a very good weapon moveset, you fundamentally cannot use it that way. Like, as good as curved sword, even the good curved swords, like Pontiff Knight, curved sword and shit like that, even these still have to respect the moveset of a straight sword. Because if there's a weapon that's better than a curved sword, it's a straight sword. And they have to respect each other, right? In an actual PvP fight, you'd have to respect each other. And they can't just mash into my, because it's not like he was staggering me where I couldn't swing. We were hit trading. It's just I do a tiny bit of damage to him and he's fucking obliterating my my health. Yeah, it's always a debate what's better, straight swords or curved swords, but it's not, the Painting Guardian one is not it. Like, it's more of a weapon that people use to like showboat, because like they'll fight noobs and they can do enough curved sword bullshit with the painting one, but it really is not good. It's like the worst one, because like there's no reason to have, the short range does not help you really in any way. They're like so much better off with Pontiff Knight curved sword. In my opinion though, curved swords actually are better than straight swords, but it depends. Like, the big boys are straight swords, curved swords, and like Murky Hand Scythe. A couple other ones in there. I think if you kill him fast, the voice continues. Really? I'll have to check that out sometime. You kind of have to be high level though if you want to like blow that guy up instantly. Oh yeah, we still have to do the swamp. We skipped a lot of the stuff in the swamp, and there's Dragon Slayer armor and all that. Wait! I think I'm supposed to do this after Midir. I may have already fucked it up. Like, I think I was doing the egg fucks it up. I think I was... I don't remember. I don't know if there's like a reward or not. For like killing Midir then talking to her before she's mad. I can't remember. I know there are Covenant rewards, but that's not gonna happen. This shit is wild. A slab, I think. Damn it. Hopefully I didn't mess it up, because we do need slabs. The thing is, that's the point. It shouldn't be a boss fight. That's the whole point, right? Making an NPC do insane damage so to like arbitrarily make it hard just shows how bad of a boss fight it is. Because you're taking something, because you're cheating, right? Like, you're literally cheating. Like, you're having to take the player character and what the player character can do and have it like work in an unfair way, right? Just because here's the problem. The reason they do this, and it's not always on boss fights, they've done this in all kinds of NPC fights, like that fucking Bloodborne guy at the end of the Crow Lady's quest and stuff like that. The problem is they want to make an NPC-esque thing be difficult, right? And here's the shtick. A player character can be incredibly difficult without doing any of that stuff, right? And the proof's in the pudding because PvP, right? You fight a really, really skilled PvP player, and they don't have more health than you and all that. They do the same damage as you and all that. Although maybe they have a better build than you. But like, they're in the same capacity range as you. And they can be harder than any boss you ever fought. The problem is FromSoft can't make AI that's even close to that, right? They can't even mimic a shit player, right? The actual AI for every NPC that has ever been in all of these games, right? Like Elden Ring, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, every single NPC they've ever made has terrible AI. I mean, garbage. If you gave them the same stats that the player can have, right? The same health range, same amount of endurance and all that, you could just crush them. I mean, they would just be a joke. And the thing is, FromSoft can't be bothered to make good AI, which is, the thing is, that's fine. If they don't want to put a bunch of time and resource, because it's hard to make a mimic of the player capabilities, right? And make it challenging and to be able to like mimic the kind of options that a player might take and stuff. That's hard to do. It's possible, but it's hard to do, right? Like fighting games have to put a lot of effort into that, and these normally come up short, right? So if you're not going to put in the effort, don't do it. It's not that hard to figure this out, right? Like if you can't, it's just like if you can't create a giant enemy that's good, right? Like if you can't make a giant tree boss or a giant dragon boss fight and you can't make it good, don't fucking make it. It's not hard. Like you literally proved my point because you're saying, oh, if it didn't do good damage, it wouldn't really be a boss fight. That's first off, that's not true, right? Because like, again, a player character can do a normal amount of damage and it can be harder than a boss fight, you know, but the fact that they're having to rely on that just shows how incapable they are of making it good content. Because you can't R1 spam a player to death, right? Unless they're a noob, but that, you know, that's like more mimicking bad AI, right? If someone fights me like in an invasion and all they do is spam R1, I am going to destroy them, right? And it's not hard really to make an AI, for example, like if a straight sword 3 swings, right, you can parry the 3rd swing, right? You can train an AI to do that, right? You can do that. You can code an AI that's, you know, it's pretty intelligent, and there are some games that do that. That can make bots and stuff that are actually quite good. But how I see it is because FromSoft is so incapable of making a good bot, because that's basically what it is. It's like trying to make a bot in like a multiplayer game. Because they're really incapable of making a good bot, just don't fucking do it, right? And like I think that fight is, and by the way, that fight is like famous for being ass, right? Nobody likes that boss fight for all the reasons I'm listing, because it's just obviously a boss that's input reading the living shit out of you, that doesn't have good behavior, right? Its behavior is really dumb, right? The thing is an idiot, and it's relying on input reading to roll and all this other stupid shit, and it's basically allowed to favorably hit trade no matter what. And because here's the thing, and this is why it's like extra bad when you're a low level, because you basically have to cheese it because you're between a rock and a hard place. You can't really run up swing hit it because it'll always input read and roll. And then if you like catch it, it'll just hit trade, right? And it's using a weapon that's pretty fast, and then you'll lose the hit trade almost no matter what. Even if you're using a fucking big boy weapon, you'll lose the hit trade. So there's no option. Right? There's no option. Like doing that fight at level 1 with like a +2 is just, it's basically undoable because the AI is making it so you're trapped between a rock and a hard place. That is not a good boss fight. Every other boss fight in Dark Souls 3 can be done hitless pretty reasonably, maybe with the exception of Osiris, right? With the like the 1-frame charge. Right? So it's like the only boss in the entire game that really no level of skill will allow you to do hitless. Right? Like that's just, it's the only boss in the entire game, and that's why most strategies to beat that thing in a hitless context is normally cheesing it. It's normally manipulating the AI and using like the right weapon to just like hit it over and over or stagger it over and over and get through it. That is just terrible design, right? It's pretty much the worst boss in the game in my opinion because of that. Because there's no like organic way to fight the boss. It's because it's like RNG, right? It's like every time you attack, it's like dealing with RNG if the AI decides to take advantage of input reading you or not. I'm trying to think if there's any other boss in this game that I think is... I mean, there's bosses that are bad because they're like too easy, like or like just stupid, like Crystal Sage, where like he's a really lame fight, but maybe he one-shots you randomly, right? Like that's really crap. But I would rather fight a boring, lame boss like Deacons of the Deep than fight a boss that's like input reading me and cheating, that there's really no reliable way with most builds to beat it hitless. Because that's the thing, like Midir, Gale, Pontiff, all these bosses can not only be beaten hitless, they can be beaten hitless with a low weapon upgrade of basically any weapon in the game. So basically, you know, any build could do it, except for the Spear of the Church, right? That's like the one boss that a lot of builds, it's just not going to happen. There's just really no level of skill that's going to allow you to do that. Sister Frida Phase 2. I don't think, it's been a while, but off memory, it would take a while Because it's been done. I mean, I've done it. I've done it with a low weapon upgrade and stuff. It would certainly be annoying. But I don't, unless I'm forgetting something, I can't think of any reason you couldn't do Sister Frida Phase 2 hitless low level with basically every like conceivable build setup, right? And the reason why that matters is it just shows that the moves are legit, right? Like if a boss can't really reasonably be done at level 1 and low weapon upgrade, it means there's something in the move set that's not fair, right? That if it comes up enough will kill you. And that's kind of why there's like people don't like Elden Stars and on Elden Beast, and like Godskin Duo, right? I'm correct me if I'm wrong. Last time I had checked, I had never seen a clear of Godskin Duo that was low level and low weapon upgrade that wasn't some kind of cheese or very build specific, right? I've never seen somebody do Godskin Duo where it's just like I'm using a +2 weapon. Or even a +0 if you want to get crazy, and then I'm just using like a vanilla ass weapon, and I'm not doing any weird weapon art stuff, and I'm just doing everything. Like maybe they have now because the game's been yeah nowadays everyone uses sleep. But yeah, a lot of the bosses like whenever you can't do that, right? When you can't do it super vanilla, like you know, there's something in my opinion wrong with the design because it means something the boss is doing cannot reliably be like skilled. It's some kind of RNG thing or input reading thing and stuff that there's nothing you can really do about. And that's like a big sign of a bad boss. And like to Night Rain's credit, someone has done every single boss at level 1 for those bosses and stuff. The one boss that I can think of that is probably not so well designed in Night Rain is probably the bug boss. Because I know that one, if you're like level 1, pure melee character and all that, is kind of bullshit. Because of the way the flying nonsense works, and there's so much air denial with the poison, you're not going to really have the opportunity to do anything. I haven't done that one myself though, like that. Man, so I've definitely slept Godskins before, right? Because fuck that boss. Especially if I'm low level. If I'm high level, it's not so big of a deal, but if I'm low level, I am absolutely sleeping that boss. But so Saint Trina's sword is like a sword that some people use for their build anyway. You know, Cairo does. And it has all kind of benefits and makes all kinds of fights easier. And you can wreck trolls, right? You can sleep, stun, lock trolls. But you get so much mileage out of that bad boy against Godskin Duo. Like, because first off, when you're going to sleep one of them without smacking, that damage sticks. Right? When they finally go to sleep, that damage stays there. And then you just 1v1 the other boss. It's crazy. I've never mained Saint Trina's swords. I've made some PvP ults and used it, but I've never played through the game with that stuff. And I haven't decided. When I play the Tarnished edition of Elden Ring, I'm wanting to, like, play it more normally and, like, you know, level up and go up with a build that I think will be fun or good or whatever. But I can't decide what I want to do. Because part of me wants to do something like Saint Trina's sword. Because that's a very unique way to play the game. But it is kind of cheesy, so maybe not. Part of me wants to go shield heavy. I have never gone shield heavy in any of the games. But I use the shield a bit, like in Dark Souls 3 here and there, but not much. But I've really never used shield seriously in Elden Ring at all. But I think it's probably the first... Because the thing about shields is they're kind of like noob bait. They're like helpful if you're bad at the game, but they're honestly not very good. And the harder the game gets, like the more useless they become. And a lot of these games, they're just pointless. I mean, you just get guard broken, and they do nothing. But I think in Elden Ring, you can actually use shields to be kind of disgusting. I might get bored if I do that though, but I don't know. We might. I've thought about like. Getting the like deflect tier really early, because that's not boring. Deflect tier is awesome. That's like super great and perfect block stuff. But maybe we try to get the deflect tier early and we just use that a lot, and we do a lot of shield stuff. I think that could be fun. There's just so many weapons to pick from in Elden Ring. I don't really know what I want to do. But yeah, I do need to fight Sister Frida because I don't remember the second phase that well. I just remember you like beat up the big guy and he stomps around the room and you have to dodge Frida doing like ice. shots on the floor and like healing and stuff. I don't remember anything about that that would cause it to be like really unreasonable if you were using like God knows what kind of build. But I might just be forgetting something. It'd be hard as hell, because like Frida is a bitch, but I think it would be doable. I tell you, one fight that I do think is a bit BS is actually Gale. Because it's not a big deal for the most part, because even like at level 10 and the +2, you can do enough damage and stuff. It's not too big of a deal. But like Gale in the second phase, there's a lot of RNG and like a lot of attacks that he does that you would think you could punish and get damage in, that you will get damage in like 80% of the time, but every once in a while his AI will do something that will actually end up hit trading with you. There are very few windows in the second phase where you are 100% can get reliable damage in, and it's just like, why? It's just I don't get why he's like that. Like his second phase is kind of just annoying, I think. I mean, I think everybody has a hard time with duo bosses, and they actually famously are the bosses that normally cause a problem for when you're trying to do something in the absolute most legit way possible. I would say Sister Frida's not too bad though, because the big guy is very slow and Frida doesn't do a lot in that phase. Now I could be wrong. There may be frame traps, because that's what really gets you, is there can be frame traps that happen that no matter what option you do, you'll get hit, and because you're low level, you'll die. And like Four Kings has a lot of frame traps that can happen if you don't like have high enough DPS, and like all Four Kings are up. And if you're doing like Four Kings with like a +0 level 1, you're not doing any like pyromancy bullshit and all that, like you can absolutely just get frame trapped, and it just there's no fault of your own. There's a lot of duo boss likes that, and it is very possible that Frida can be like that. I really like, there's a guy who made a YouTube series so long ago called the Urban Orb. And he did New Game +7 at level 1, melee only, and he didn't do any cheap bullshit like at all, right? He just did it in the most legit, and he did it so you have to fight the bosses for a very long time to truly understand their movesets. And he just showed how bullshit some of this stuff is. Like, Four Kings is just bullshit when you play that way, right? Like, obviously most players are going to be high enough that they can take a hit or two, and if an occasional like unfair frame trap comes up, it's not going to kill them. But there's a lot of bullshit. Even Ornstein and Smo has a lot of like nonsense where you can get frame trapped at no fault of your own and stuff like that. So you have to play in an overly cautious way. That's just not fun. That really does. That's what I truly hate about duo bosses. Is the lower level you are, the more cautious you have to play. Because like there's just so many ways you'll end up hit trading instead of just getting a punish in. And it's shit. And you see it all the time in these games. Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, where like you'll fight just 2 trash mobs and they're just swinging at a timing where on like a air quotes legit build, there's no, you can't hit them ever. Like you're the best you can do is hit trade. The games just are not designed well, in my opinion, for multiple enemies. These games are like just so focused on 1v1 combat. There's a few exceptions, right? There are sometimes they'll design an enemy that's like really slow and like a range support that's like really telegraphed and stuff. Like there are a few exceptions where multi-enemy fights are fine and stuff, especially with trash mobs. Actually, those turtle guys are a good example, because you could combine one of those turtle guys with maybe some of the slower enemies, and it wouldn't be that bad, because like their range attack is so telegraphed and predictable. And if the slower enemy isn't like doing anything too crazy, you could potentially go kill the turtle guy, then fight the slow guy, or fight the slow guy and maybe dodge what the turtle guy's doing, right? Like there are multi-fights that end up being okay. But all right, chat, I think that's enough for today. I'm kind of just yapping. I need to eat and stuff. I'm really hungry. I don't want to fight Gale or Midir when I'm tired like this and it's kind of late at night. We'll do it more fresh. But yeah, we're almost done, honestly. We got Gale, Midir, Frida, and Soul of Cinder. I guess Nameless if we want to do Nameless. But yeah, that's all that's left. But some pretty good boss fights at the end here. Dark Souls 3 is definitely backloaded. Like the early bosses really do suck. I tell you, man, in some ways, Night Rain has become my favorite. I don't know, it's so hard. It's so different than the other games. But like, the Night Lords are great. I just, man, I want a full game with like more bosses. Give me like 30 bosses of the Night Lord quality. Although I feel like part of why the Night Lords are so good is because there only is 8 of them, so they put so much effort into them. That's why they're good. Oh yeah, Dragon Slayer armor in the swamp. Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that next time. Yeah, fuck yes. Love Dragon Slayer armor. All right, boys. I'm out of here. Do Faith and... Oh, yeah, and I don't know. I just don't know what I'm going to do. There's too many options. Like, I definitely favor builds that are more Knight-esque. And, you know, if it's perfect block is doable, right? I'm really big on that. I definitely lean that way. But there is some fun magic stuff. There's so much magic in Elden Ring. It's, like, overwhelming. You got the magma setups. You know, you got the beast stuff, like low faith. Like, I just don't even know what to go with. I'm leaning towards something where I can use the deflect here. Right, I'm definitely leaning towards that. I don't know, maybe we just look at the new classes in the Tarnished Edition and we just pick one of them and we go with like whatever stats it has that it'd be meta for, and we just embrace that. My guess is the 2 starting classes they're adding, one of them is going to be like outrageously dex light roll based, and the other one is going to be very strengthy based, but I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard to say. Because the big boy looking starting class has a curved sword, which are normally more like quality dexy stuff, which is kind of not what you'd expect for such a big guy, like big thick armor. And the other armor set is still medieval like knight armor, but it looks more like agile. But I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long. Anyways, I'm out of here. We will raid Cairo, and I will see you guys later.